Division is still waiting to crown a champion. Today's game here in Winston-Salem will decide who plays for a title next week. Welcome inside Bowman Gray Stadium. Winston-Salem State hosting Fayetteville State this afternoon. Quick check at our Coca-Cola Conference standings. Bowie State, they have secured the Northern Division. They'll play in Salem, Virginia next weekend. And here in the Southern Division, it's still at stakes. Fayetteville State and Shaw battling to play next weekend. Hi again, everybody. Along with Stan Luter, I'm Scott Przwanski. Thanks so much for being with us here today. And Stan, and for so many years, the Southern Division went through Winston-Salem. Now maybe we've got a new team to beat in Fayetteville State.
Well, there's a change that is coming right now. And that's the Winston-Salem State, Fayetteville State rivalry. Well, Fayetteville State's got that right now. The last 2 years, they've won the CIAA Southern Division. This year, for them to win that, Winston-Salem plays a little part of that. If Fayetteville State wins, then they're the Southern Division champion. But a Fayetteville State loss and a win by Shaw, and Shaw will be the team that will represent the CIAA South. So the Fayetteville State Winston-Salem rivalry is not dead yet, baby.
Yeah, and a lot to play for today. Obviously, let's talk about how they're going to play this game now with our keys to the game.
Well, if you're Fayetteville State, you've got to be in attack mode. They're the number 2 offense in the CIAA, number 2 in sacks. So be aggressive at the line of scrimmage. Put pressure on the Rams all afternoon. They've been here. They've been here before. They understand how to play here. In fact, Coach Hayes was on the staff for many years and helped have some success here. They won the game 2 years ago to clinch the South, 23-22. So they understand what it means to play at Bowman Gray Stadium. Scotty P. Oh, no. Oh, no, that's exactly right for Winston-Salem because not point production. They've only scored over 30 points one time this year, and last week was shut out at homecoming. So they've got to find a way to put some points on the board, and they still have a lot to play for. 19 seniors. Winston has a new AD that was announced this week. And since 2009, they've always won at least 5 ball games. They get a win, that streak continues.
Our McDonald's ones to watch now, and I know you like the color green, don't you?
Man, I'm talking about Stevie Green, that is. Stevie Green, if he's not a high candidate for the Offensive Player of the Year, I don't know who could be. How about this? Over 4,000 yards rushing. This year he's had 5 games where he's rushed for over 100 yards. Plus he's had 7 touchdowns, 20 yards or more. Whatever Stevie Green's asked to do, he's been able to do it in his career at Fayetteville State, along with Nigel Peel, number 1. And Peel has had 3 games this year, Scott, where he's had 10 tackles or more. He's a guy that can rush from his Mike linebacker spot, but he also can drop back in coverage. So look for him to have a big day today. Pharrell Murchison's a really good success story. Overcame testicular cancer. This year's rushed for over 600 yards as a senior. He's been one of the steady ground gainers for this Ram team, along with Darius Skinner. You may remember Skinner from a year ago. Led the nation in interceptions with 11. Well, this year he's got 5, and people just don't throw in his direction. Skinner and Murchison, Peel and Green, all these people are ones to watch this afternoon.
Fayetteville State has its sights set on a Southern Division crown. The Rams, you betcha, they want to play spoilers here this afternoon. It's our CIAA Game of the Week. Kickoff is coming up next. Back inside Bowman Gray Stadium, so glad to have you with us again here for our CIAA Game of the Week. Winston-Salem State won the coin toss. They have elected to defer. They'll get the ball to start the second half, and they'll kick it away here to this Broncos team, which is amongst the best in the conference and putting points on the board at 38 points a game. So you're going to test your defense here in front of this crowd on your final home game here in Winston-Salem. Little pooch kick goes up front, fielded at about the 30-yard line, and it will be good field position for Fayetteville State to start off here on their first series. So the Broncos will take over just beyond their 40-yard line and coming in with a 7-2 overall mark, fresh off a win over Livingstone where they blanked the Blue Bears 32-0. And Richard Hayes Jr. has his club playing football the right way. 2 straight South Division titles and trying to make it a 3rd, and this guy has been a big part of it, Stan. Richard Latimer, the redshirt sophomore quarterback.
Saw him before the ball game when we're down by the truck by the locker rooms. He tapped me on the shoulder and kind of winked, and seems they're very confident. So we'll see how things go early for them.
And a whole lot of number 28, Stevie Green, will help his charge, and a nice gain on first down. Yeah, it was fun. Richard came over and said, hey, introduced himself. He said, yeah, I know who you are.
We know who you are.
Yeah.
I'm shocked you know who I am, but I appreciate you saying hello. But I tell you this, I think today Fayetteville State needs to get off to a quick start, and they need to get the ball in Stevie Green's hands. I think he's going to carry the ball about 25 times today.
2nd down and 5 after a pickup of 5 for Green. He comes in needing about 51 yards or so to get 1,000 for the season. Latimer will pass. It's complete, and a mean-spirited welcome to Bowman Gray Stadium on that tackle, right down at about the 50-yard line. And coming in on the stop was Tayshawn Taylor.
Tayshawn Taylor, one of those outstanding sophomores for Winston-Salem, leads the team in tackles with 71. One of the things you've got to be able to do, I think, if you're Fayetteville State, is get your wide receivers and your big play guys like a Green in open space. Over the season, they're number 2 in the conference in third down conversions, 44%.
They need 2 here, handed off to Green, and he did not get it. That Winston-Salem defense up front. Kalen Allen, the sophomore, in on the charge. He's going to be short, and 4th down coming up.
And I think if you're Richard Hayes, I mean, we talked about it, be aggressive. I think you got to go for it. Actually, they moved the change. It says forward progress.
Wow.
The line to gain was the 48. And I thought he may have gotten that initially, then kicked back, and he did. So 1st and 10 for Fayetteville State.
So they'll give it to him on the forward progress. Get up to the line of scrimmage on a 1st and 10 for the Broncos. Opening drive of the game. Send a man in motion. That's Maynor. Complete to the tight end at about the 45-yard line. And that's complete to Kamonta Stockdale.
Stockdale, Brooks. Remember Brooks from their game we had against Elizabeth City, had 1 catch for 60 yards and the touchdown. They'll throw to their tight ends. They're good blocking tight ends. They're very good in short yardage situations. And again, right now I like the rhythm and the versatility in getting the ball in different players for Fayetteville State.
Donchell Jatan in the backfield now with Latimer. He'll bring him behind him. Gets the handoff straight up the gut, moving the pile across the 40-yard line. And 3rd down now for Fayetteville State.
Jatan and Green this past year, and you threw in Glaspie, they combined for almost 1,389 yards, and that's only 1,791 of what they've rushed for. So those 3 guys, Glaspie, Jatan, and obviously Stevie Green, are the primary ball carriers for this team. Another 3rd down situation now for Fayetteville. Let's see if Winston-Salem elects to try to put a little more pressure on him. I think this is more run term. It's going to be a penalty on the Broncos.
Yeah, movement up front on the left side of the line. So what was a 3rd and short at a 3rd and 2 will back them up 5 more yards.
Ball start. Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty.
Keon Smith, the junior left tackle, getting a little bit of an antsiness on the play. Everybody's a little amped up. A lot of emotion today for Fayetteville State. They know if they win this game, they're playing next week. And Stevie Green, I'm telling you now, if they win, Stevie Green's going to be one of the ones to watch. I'll tell you now. At any point even pretending wonder who it's going to be. If Winston-Salem, this is their last game. Last time some of these guys ever put on a football uniform. So there's a lot of emotion. Both ways, a lot to play for in this traditional last game rivalry.
3rd down and 7. Latimer to pass. Got some time down the field. Got a receiver and has a 1st down. Nice patience by Latimer in the pocket there. Waited for that play to develop, and Tyus Sharp comes free.
One of the things you like about Latimer, he doesn't force anything, sees pressure, kind of moves the pocket a little bit, thinks about running, but sees a wide open Tyus Sharp, and Sharp able to come up with the catch and keep the chains moving. But again, the ability to have a quarterback that can move a little bit, buy some time, gets a receiver. 1st down, Fayetteville State.
Sharp, the leading receiver on this Broncos team this year, handed off to Jatan, sweeps around the right side, cuts it upfield for a short gain. And 2nd down now on the way for Fayetteville State.
And interesting that even in this drive, you've seen a lot more of Jatan than you have actually Stevie Green. The Green only carried the ball about 8 times last week in their win against Livingstone. Really didn't need him, jumped off to him, kept the lead. You want to say, okay, don't want him to take a lot of extra hits. But a little surprised that in this first drive you're not using Green as your primary running back. Jatan, more of an inside-out guy, can catch out of the backfield.
2nd and 8. Man wide open. Did he secure it? Touchdown. What a catch by Brandon Pearson Boyd, his 3rd touchdown of the season, and a dime thrown by Richard Latimer.
Scotty P, we said they had to be aggressive, and they certainly are starting out like that. Fake the jet sweep right there, holds those linebackers, and then you've got a guy that's got speed, and Pearson Boyd gets behind the defender and drops it in the cradle. Touchdown, Fayetteville State.
Boy, Latimer was really impressive on that drive. A lot of patience, and put that pass right where Pearson Boyd needed it. Got behind the defense, and the Broncos take advantage of that great field position to start off here on this opening drive. Go the length of the field and showing you why they want to win this Southern Division and have been the team to beat all year long.
A 90, 5-yard penalty, replay to try.
Well, that'll frustrate Richard Hayes Jr. for sure when you get the penalty on the PAT, but the Broncos will line up to do it again. Jacob Young, the sophomore, will kick it. And an impressive way, Stan, for Fayetteville State to start off this game here today. The PAT is good. Broncos take the opening drive down the field. They strike first. Rams will have it next, though, when we come back.
You know what? Stevie, in case you're something.
8 plays, 58 yards on the opening drive for Fayetteville State as they get the opening score, but maybe some concern about the condition of Stevie Green on the sideline right now.
Looked like his jersey's torn. I see that right there. But, you know, he didn't look maybe as frisky as normally you would see a Bronco before a big ball game. Not certain. We'll keep our eyes on him. He looks like he's in good spirits right now. He's got to feel good about that touchdown drive. Very, very impressive what Fayetteville State was able to do that first time out the box.
Yeah, and think about it. This is a Rams defense which only gives up 17 points a game. So the defense has been what has carried them this year, but you give up an opening drive like that, puts a lot of pressure on an offense, which you have alluded to, Stan, which has struggled to score the football.
Maurice Flowers, the offensive coordinator, who's making his second stint at Fayetteville State, and you know, has been known to really want to open up offenses, and you can see that right now by averaging almost 40 points a ball game for Fayetteville. Good drive. Let's see if Winston can respond.
Jonathan Allen fields it and is brought down immediately at the 20-yard line, and great coverage there by Brandon Smith to rip him down.
Watch the coverage. Boom. One of the things that Fayetteville State's taken a lot of pride in over the years has been their special teams. And that's a solid tackle by a guy that's been an outstanding kick returner for Fayetteville for several years, in Brandon Smith.
So Winston-Salem State will come under center and start things off, see if they can answer what the Broncos did. Quick pass out in the flat, and wow, man, what a pop. Defensively, they can bring the lumber, that's for sure, as Alex Woods is there.
Alex Woods, 2 years starting for Fayetteville State, transferred from the University of Maryland. Is a really good cover corner, but he takes pride in being able to stick you, and that's a textbook tackle on a swing pass, not going far as you're trying to get somebody in the backfield, can't get it done. Good play there, good coverage on the hit by Ruffin.
2nd and 11 on a loss of 1. Handoff up the middle, and again, a whole lot of white jerseys there to pounce on the football.
Keep in mind, over the years when Winston-Salem was having this last bit of success, Richard Hayes, who's now the head coach at Fayetteville State, was the defensive coordinator. So he takes pride in being the defensive coordinator to be able to stop teams. And so he's certainly got a game plan attack today. And Quarterman, Sloan, 20, Murchison, number 8, are going to have I think, very difficult to be able to run against these guys, I should say.
And that is Murchison to the left. Ramadan now in at quarterback. He'll take it to Murchison. Swings outside. Can he turn the corner? Cannot get by Fayetteville State's defense. Nigel Peel in on the stop. And a 3-and-out for Winston-Salem State. It's interesting.
Easy, guys. Easy. And that's something that Coach Hayes is. He's fired up. His guys had a good stop, 3-and-out. But these guys have got to understand something. You don't want to do anything because you may win this football game and you have to play again. So you kind of got to stand down. Winston-Salem, one thing you're going to do is start winning workouts next week. So a lot of the emotion and the jaw jabbing that you may get, you can't do that if you're Fayetteville today. Too much to lose.
Dominic Graves in to punt it away over the head of Tyus Sharp, who fields it at about his 32. Cuts back, eludes one defender, another defender. Sharp trying to break out free and into Winston-Salem State territory. Great return by the junior out of Winston-Salem, Tyus Sharp. So the Broncos score first. They get a stop on D, and they'll have it again right after this.
Changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Fayetteville State out in front of their rival Winston-Salem State. Scored on their opening possession, 7-0 is our count. And great field position again here to start for the Broncos, this time all the way down in Winston-Salem State territory. 8:20 to play here in the first. Latimer in the gun. He'll bring Stevie Green in motion right behind him. Hand it off to Green, bouncing off the right side. Not a whole lot of room, but the pile will move him forward. And it'll be a nice pickup and second down coming. See Green thought about coming out. Coach says, no, you go right back in. We want 28 on the field whenever we can have him.
That's the Stevie Green I'm used to. How about this? 4,300 yards in his career, 40 touchdowns. He's already had 2 touchdowns and 56 receptions in his career. I mean, he's already got Hall of Fame in Fayetteville State history.
Fake the handoff. Now give it to Glaspie. Glaspie's got some room. He's got some speed. And forced out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. But positive yardage continues for the Broncos. Their offense really in a good rhythm now.
The diversity of this Fayetteville State offense. And a nice block by Stockdale, number 89, to help him turn the corner. Watch this block right there. Just enough to give a wide receiver with great speed to be able to turn the corner. And you saw exactly what Johnny Glaspie does. This Fayetteville State offense, when they're rolling, they've got a lot of weapons. Running the football, passing, using backside of the backfield in jet action.
1st and 10 from the 25. Hand it one more time. Glaspie. Again, you see the speed you're just talking about, Stan, as he rolls it across the 20-yard line. Lost his helmet. That's no problem. Who's got my helmet? Someone give me my helmet so I get back in the game.
Give him a helmet now, and somebody will come back in and take his place. How about this? This is going to show you why I'm impressed right now with this first drive for Fayetteville State. Winston-Salem only allows about 156 yards rushing, actually 120 yards rushing, okay? And like we talked about, one of the best defenses around, but how good defenses have been in the CIAA, that's only 4th best. But think about that, 120 yards you're averaging giving up. Fayetteville might hear that by the end of the quarter.
Sharp in motion instead. Give it to the man in the backfield, and that is Elijah Henry, who got so close to punching it in for his second touchdown of the season.
Another one of the weapons that the Broncos have. You bring in Henry as a change of pace guy. Only 165 yards on the year. Big tackle there.
Yeah, Rams were ready for the quick hitter, though, and Henry will lose a couple on that one.
Winston-Salem State really having a hard time adjusting to the tempo that you're seeing by Fayetteville State. That was Ingram with the tackle. But hard running, good tackle that time by Ingram. But yet Henry is another one of these weapons. We keep talking about, where does Fayetteville State keep finding all these guys? I mean, we talk all year about Stevie Green, but then there's Jetta that comes in. Then you see Glaspie come in, and don't forget, now you've got another guy in Henry.
For Ingram, his 9th tackle for loss this season. Green back in the game, scooting through, looking for a peek. And the Rams defense bowing up here at the goal line. So Ingram in on the stop again, and 3rd down and goal now for Fayetteville State.
Think about this team in the red zone. 17 of 27 attempts, 13 of them have been touchdowns, for this Fayetteville State team. I should say 33 out of 36 for Fayetteville State. 28 have been touchdowns. So when they get in the red zone, Broncos are able to score.
Well, the Beef is lined up to the right. Fake the handoff, go to the tight end. All right, off his hands and incomplete. Almost picked off. James Transeau could not hold it in. The junior out of Winston-Salem had a chance at it, wouldn't drop in his.
Man. And you wonder why they don't throw the ball to you, the fullback, because you got to catch the ball. Got all the bandages on his hand. I understand, primarily used as a blocker. Ball goes through his hands and nearly intercepted by Winston-Salem. But if they don't get the touchdown, it looks like they may get points. Andrew, a very solid kicker.
And the field goal is good. So Fayetteville State will settle for a field goal, but they'll take it. They've got 10 up on the board here to start things off in Winston-Salem. They're ready to hop in the buses and head north.
Be a rematch of last year's ball game. Be a rematch of the last time that Fayetteville State won the CIAA championship, 2009, where Bowie State came from behind and then Fayetteville came from behind and a couple plays and ended up winning that ball game. And Kenny Phillips, and I can remember seeing Kenny's face when they won that game. We lost Kenny a couple of years ago, but took Fayetteville State to 3 CIAA championships over the last 12, 13 years. And Richard Hayes would like to put his name on that trophy case so in Fayetteville and get his first championship. They got to win this game first.
Timmons will field it at his own 5. Cuts back up the middle, still on his feet, and then brought down just across the 25-yard line. And let's see what Winston-Salem State will do here.
There's a guy with some speed right there.
Actually, it's Blevins, excuse me.
DeAndre Blevins, kid that played down in Selma, North Carolina, at West Johnston High School. But guy's got some speed, really a solid defender. And then we're going to find out a lot about the Winston-Salem State team. You're down 10-0, 2 drives, one's touchdown, one's a field goal. You went 3 and out. What are you able to do? Can you establish something there on the offensive side?
Well, they'll bring Dominic Graves in, who didn't play the first series, but he'll start off here at quarterback. He's got it. Airs one out down the field, trying to hook up with Chandler Belt, but well defended by Joshua Williams.
Nice coverage that time by Williams. No contact, just ran with Belt stride for stride. Williams came into the ball game with 8 defensive pass breakups and 1 interception. And another one of the, everybody talks a lot about the Fayetteville State running game and their linebackers on defense, but their defensive backs with Wood and Merritt and Tyson Green and Bentley and Williams, those guys are pretty good defensive backs.
Quarterman Sloan in the backfield with Graves now on a 2nd and 10. They'll give it to Sloan. Bounces off the left side, and nothing doing there against that Fayetteville State defense, which only gives up about 155 yards on the ground a game.
As impressive as that defense is for Winston-Salem, the Fayetteville State Broncos defensively are very, very solid as well. Jawad Evans, 91. Blunt, 99. Gainey, Keyshawn James, Crutchfield. Keep your eye on Jawad Evans, 91, and rush in. Can make some plays, and it's really tough to go inside. Got Evans on one side along with Blunt.
3rd down and 9 for the Rams. Here's Graves going downfield, and this time he is able to hook up with, snuck out Belk. You can see him just rubbing his head as he had it. Defense closed on him, but maybe a catch Chandler Belk should have caught and usually does.
Well, Chandler Belk has been one of the dependable receivers for this Winston-Salem State football team all season long. This ball is really nicely thrown, and he'll think about that one later on because that was one he should have certainly caught. It goes right between the wickets.
Got to have those plays, and another 3 and out for Winston-Salem State. And you're putting the ball right back in this Broncos offense that, a muff punt. Let's see who's going to hop on it. Sharp lost it, and this could be the break the Rams need, and they've got it. So the fumble recovered by the Rams. Darian Dowdell ends up with it.
You need a play. You got to have a play. This is a little twister, a little knuckleball, misplayed, good bounce. Comes up. Can we get a Ram who's got it? And it looks like. So initially it bounces out. I think, and actually, Scott, I think it's not Dowdell. I think it's Kearney.
Yep, you're right, Kearney. Your eyes are better than mine right now, Mr. Luter.
Well, not by much.
But great effort not to give up. That ball squirting around. Sometimes it's who wants it more, and he ends up with it in a big play for Winston-Salem, a much-needed play for the Rams, as they've got great field position now, and can they take advantage of the turnover and the muff punt?
Let's see if they try to go deep on this, try to look for the explosion play.
Ramadan now in the quarterback. He'll hand it off to Murchison. Might have picked up 1 or 2 yards. And your man Jawad Evans mixing it up in the pile.
Ramadan is a transfer that came in just as the season started for North Carolina Central. Had some success with the Eagles, put his name in the portal, decided to get from Charlotte, come his last year now at Winston-Salem State. And they've really struggled the last couple of weeks with consistency out of the quarterback spot. Graves has some nice numbers. Ramadan, 154 and 2 touchdowns, but still not the explosiveness they've seen out of Ram quarterbacks in the last few years.
Quarterman Sloan straight up the middle, and again, same result. Right now, the Rams' offensive line unable to get that push on the Broncos, but there is a flag on the play.
I think they're going to get a little extracurricular out of it. And I was looking at Joshua Williams, 20. That might have been the culprit, but it could have been any number of players at the end of that play. And again, controlling your emotions, important for Fayetteville today.
Personal foul, illegal hands to the face. Defense, number 20. 15-yard penalty enforced from the end of the run. First down.
So the sophomore Joshua Williams, the guilty party. And
Scott, you got to be smart to that. You have to be. You're playing for something, and the residual effect of this, if you win this game, you play again. So you don't want to be being kicked out. You can't do it.
Well, your defense made another great play, too, and then you give them a first down, right?
And it was clear. I mean, you could see it. It was on this side of the field, nearest us, and you could clearly see Williams and Belk getting tangled, and Williams gets those hands up.
The Ramadan will remain in the game. He's played 6 games this year. Again, a redshirt senior. He's got it here. Looking to his left, comes back to his right, and incomplete. Williams got a hand on it, intended for Belk, going across the middle.
Williams is a good defensive back with excellent recovery speed. They tried to run a little slant post pattern to Belk, and this ball just a little high, but nevertheless, good coverage right there. Takes away the inside. Good defensive play by Fayetteville State.
2nd and 10 now from the Fayetteville State 19-yard line. Sloan in the backfield. Fayetteville State coaching staff looking on. Handed off to Sloan. Squeaks free for a couple about to the 15-yard line, but 3rd and manageable now coming up for Winston-Salem State.
I like Quarterman Sloan, a kid that, 5'7", 5'8", and you're stretching it. Flamboyant, the hair there, the red every which way, but does a really nice job in reading his blockers and kind of gets lost in the shuffle right there. But it's very, very hard to run directly down the line of scrimmage against Fayetteville State because of some of those guys we talked about a moment ago. They're linemen. They have great recovery speed, and they don't give up the line of scrimmage easily.
1st down marker inside the 10-yard line. Ramadan flushed out of the pocket, got his eyes downfield. Now he's going to tuck it and run, and he's got enough for the 1st down. So a heady play by the redshirt senior to keep it and keep the chains moving.
Ramadan gets outside the pocket, is looking downfield. Coverage is very good and lets to see how much he can get. And then all of a sudden says, wow, I needed 5. Let me see if I can get 7. Takes a lick, keeps the ball, but 1st down, Winston-Salem State.
And a 1st down and goal now for the Rams, looking to capitalize off of the turnover on the punt. See the numbers of Ramadan on the year. He'll hand it. No, he'll keep it. And not fooling the Broncos defensively. Among those in on the stop, Keyshawn James will bring up 2nd down and goal.
Don't think Lawrence Kershaw, offensive coordinator for Winston-Salem, wants a steady diet of Ramadan or either Graves carrying the football, especially against the grain, because you've got those linemen and linebackers that really run well for Fayetteville State, and they're going to get a free lick like they similarly did on that play.
We'll call it 2nd down and 6. Pharrell Murchison now lined up in the backfield. Murchison will take it. Head of steam, bowling his way forward, just shy of the goal line. And tripped up by DeAndre Peterson.
And that's what they like about Murchison, Scott. His ability to go between the tackles and take the hard yards. 604 yards rushing so far this season. Tough yards. He needed about 7, got about 5.
And that'll do it for the end of the 1st quarter. Rams are driving, threatening to put some points up on the board. But right now, the Broncos out in front 10-0. Rams are threatening here at home. 2nd quarter coming up. CIAA football is being brought to you by Coca-Cola. Grab an ice-cold Coca-Cola and taste the feeling. Food Lion, official partner of the CIAA for 26 years. Brought to you by McDonald's, Black and Positively Golden. Join in and follow on Instagram at We Are Golden. And this February, join the CIAA at the Premium Spades Tournament Challenge during the CIAA basketball tournament in Charlotte. Please sign up at premiumspades.com/CIAA or download the CIAA app to register now. Start of the 2nd quarter, 3rd and goal for Winston-Salem State. Murchison in the backfield, and look at this lineup here.
It's a jumbo package.
Murchison on the direct snap, and I don't think he got in. Let's see. So now 4th down.
We'll bring an extra offensive lineman in, another tight end. Kamal Keon, 44, goes in there. Got a big tackle in there, and Baldwin, number 66, goes about 310.
One more time to Murchison, and just did get it across the goal line. So the Rams answer off of the turnover, and on 4th down, just do squeak it in.
Wildcat snap right there. Let's take a look down the line. You'll get a better idea there. Remember, any part of the football that touches the white gets up. There it is. Had to look quick. You had to look quick, but you got it. And one of the things I was also looking at was the down box, too. That was parallel. He didn't pass it, so it was close, though. If we had challenge in this game, I would challenge it.
Ivan Caro for the PAT, and it is good. So Winston-Salem State responds off the 4th and goal from the 1. Pharrell Murchison with his 8th touchdown of the season for the senior. And looking to keep his club in it here early, and wants to leave this stadium on a high note with a W. But for Murchison, he's just such a great story to see him playing football, Stan. As we know, missed all of last season, cancer treatment, fully recovered, cancer-free, and first game back, went for 109 yards against Pembroke this season, and now here as a senior looking to close out his career with a win. But love the perseverance of that young man and seeing it paying off with a big-time touchdown there to start the second quarter.
Just a great success story, on track to get his degree. Has fought the big battle and able to win. Anything else is going to be easy for him in life. And so congratulations to Murchison, to his family, and all the people that love him. And that's what college is about. When you have some adversity, you got a family of guys and coaches and administrators like Winston-Salem has to put their arms around you and give you support. So congratulations to Murchison on what he's been able to do and getting Rams on the board.
And a penalty flag flies before Buenaventura can kick it off.
Delay of game, I think. Looking at the play clock down at the corner of the end zone.
Kicking team, 5-yard penalty.
Well,
retry the kick.
You know, Stan, you just get the big touchdown, right? And then you shoot yourself in the foot a little bit. It's kind of how this season has gone for Winston-Salem State.
And the other thing is, you know, Fayetteville State, I mean, you're rolling. And, you know, you have 2 penalties. You have a punt, you know, that leads to the touchdown drive. And, you know, you can't – Winston's playing – they're playing with a lot of emotion. Take the emotion out, slap them in the face a couple of times, and go ahead and win the football game if you got a chance. Don't mess around with them and find yourself trying to have a 50-60-yard drive to win a ball game.
Brandon Smith backs up to about his 10-yard line and then is just leveled and thrown backwards at the 30.
Marki Smith meeting Brandon Smith. And Mr. Narik Smith, or I should say, won that battle.
Yes, he did. Freshman out of Charlotte, North Carolina.
And these are the plays, Scott, excuse me, but these are the plays that keep a team motivated and inspired. Bam! We saw a pitch and brick tackle early in the ball game. We see another one right there. Yeah, you can celebrate that. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you at all.
From Charlotte, North Carolina, looked like he got a running head start from I-85 from Charlotte.
Really?
All the way into Winston. Yeah. Let him know.
But those are the kind of hits that motivate a team. So now, Fayetteville State, can you answer?
Latimer under center, hands it off to Green. He'll bounce it outside and forced out of bounds after a gain about 5 or 6 yards, but a good start on first down for Fayetteville State. Senior out of Washington, North Carolina. It's been one of our favorites. Been fun to watch for 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, twice has been the player of the game, if you want to say, in the CIAA championships and losing efforts. CIAA Rookie of the Year his freshman year, all conference, all 3 years.
Latimer to pass, got a man complete to Maynor, all kinds of distance ahead of him, and he'll bull his way forward into Winston-Salem State territory.
Good execution by Fayetteville State. They fake the toss. Latimer does a really nice job of getting his shoulders square, and then you've got a wide receiver that can make plays in Maynor. going down the sideline on the wheel route. Nice ball thrown. First down for Fayetteville State.
Boy, Latimer really seems to be dialed in here in this first half, doesn't he? He's made some good throws. And a 1st and 10. Handed off to Green, and nothing doing over the left side. Winston-Salem State was ready for him. Theron Ingram in on the stop.
When you look at this Winston-Salem State front four of Jeter and Smith and Malik Moore, 95, and Theron Ingram, these are young guys with the exception of Moore. And Jeter's a junior, Smith's a junior, Theron's only a sophomore, so there's a lot to build on for next year's Rams squad. Might be disappointed in what you're seeing this year, but wow, you start with defense. That's very nice to have 3/4 of that front four back.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10. Here with 12:40 and counting to go in the first half. Handed to Green. Up the near side. Can he turn the corner? Green making folks miss. Finally, 3 or 4 guys have to shove him out of bounds, and too much on that last hit as Green was out of bounds, and a penalty against Winston-Salem State forthcoming.
And this is what gives the coordinators nightmares. And yeah, they're happy to see him graduate because he starts inside, but he has the speed and the balance to bounce to the outside. And what could have been about a 2 or 3 yard pickup ends up being about a 15, 20 yard run. And then you get the penalty.
Personal foul, late hit out of bounds. Defense, number 5. 15-yard penalty enforced from the end of the run. First down.
Well, look again here.
Watch that.
Yeah.
Watch Blevins at the end of the play, number 5. Got him, wrapped up, forward progress, and then the takedown.
Yeah, you just can't do that.
Hassan Rankin kind of pushed him, and then Rankin finished it off. Nice tackle if you're in between the white lines.
But with the penalty, Fayetteville State now all the way down to the 11-yard line of Winston-Salem State, so the Broncos can get a first down without scoring here.
First and 10 here for the Broncos.
Latimer hands it to Green, cuts it back left side. Pickup of a couple will bring up 2nd down now.
When you watch Stevie Green play, watch how many players get a chance to hit him but never get a clean shot necessarily. I can't ever remember many times, maybe on a swing pass, where he's ever had that full brunt. You get a shoulder, you get an arm. The tackles may be vicious, but you never really get him. He moves so well. He's got really good vision.
Pickup of 1 on first down. Fake it to Green. Here comes the heat over the middle. Intercepted in the end zone. Picked off by Skinner. Still on his feet. And then brought down across the 30-yard line. So the Rams defense comes up with the stop. Darius Skinner with his 6th interception of the season, and the senior comes up big for the Rams defense.
That man again, 11 last year, 6 now. Latimer fakes it, throws it over top. It looks like the receiver's there, but never saw the ball thrown. Don't know if he lost in the sun, ran the wrong route. Didn't matter because Skinner is right there. Number 2 gets his next interception, working his way up the record books for Winston-Salem State. And 2 picks a couple of weeks ago against Livingstone. 1 was a 66-yard touchdown. And you notice how the momentum of a couple of plays is now swung to red.
2nd turnover of the game here in the first half against Fayetteville State. Good run by Sloan, but a flag on the play.
Rams are pointing to the Broncos. Broncos are pointing at the Rams. Either a hold or a face mask, I would think.
I mean, these 2 teams.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 15. 15-yard penalty enforced from the end of the run. First down.
So now it's Fayetteville State, which is coming unglued a little bit here, Stan, and a couple turnovers and now a penalty, and these 2 teams don't like each other. There's no doubt about that.
Now, they don't like each other, but a lot of people I don't like, but I want to beat you first. And this is a Fayetteville State team that's had some problems with penalties. I mean, 5 of the 9 games they've had 8 or more penalties, including a game that they barely won against Johnson C. Smith at the end. They had 12. In their loss to St. Augustine's 2 weeks ago, they had 11. So you cannot shoot yourself in the foot, and right now, foot shooting's going on the Broncos side.
Well, timeout on the floor, so we'll take a little timeout as well. 10:44 to go here in the second. Momentum swinging in the favor of the Rams. Defense and physical football. We've seen it all in the first half. If you don't have them strapped up, don't come out on the field here today, Stan.
I'm telling you what now. Tell you what, you better make certain that you tightened up everything. All the screws are there, all the belts are tight. Your mouthpiece is in and your head visor's on, because somebody gonna get knocked around today now.
Have your favorite form of ibuprofen ready. Have the ice bath ready. And get after it here today.
I'm telling you what, if you're scared, do not apply. This is not the game for you.
We have seen some hard hits here this afternoon. As we come back, Winston-Salem will have it here on a 1st and 10. Ramadan in at quarterback. Hands it off to Sloan. Bounces off the pile, keeps moving forward, and then tossed backwards. Keontae Gainey there to greet him. Krishan Springs and others.
It's interesting in Styles, and Styles make ball games and races, but, you know, with Stevie Green, he's moving constantly. You don't get a good solid lick on him. With Sloan, he's moving constantly, and you get solid licks on him.
He wants you to hit him almost, it seems like.
Bring it on. That's all you got.
Ball at the 46 of Fayetteville State on a 2nd and 7 now.
It's a little power formation that Winston-Salem likes to run. This could be the 2-quarter man, or it could be play fake.
Ramadan with the pump fake. Now he'll tuck it and run. And corralled short of the first down marker. De La Rosa in on the stop. Going to bring up 3rd down.
You try to go on a tight set. Sloan's one of the leading receivers. You try to sneak him out of the backfield as he goes down the field. It's a really nice job of coverage once again by Fayetteville State. Elvin De La Rosa, another one of those young players that's matured in this program, was a Rookie of the Year a couple of years ago on defense, in on the tackle. But this becomes a chess match and a game of just being physical.
3rd down, and we'll call it 3. Head of steam for Quaterman Sloan. Stays on his feet, and then brought down inside the 35-yard line. So 1st down, Winston-Salem State, as they keep the drive moving forward.
He's got stuff. He's got the gray on, so you can see him, and then before you can see him, he's gone. Good move there. Don't bring him down. You've got to wrap this guy up, and the first thing you've got to do is you have to take his legs away. Quaterman Sloan.
First down and 10 from the 33-yard line now for Winston-Salem State. Ramadan was Sloan to his right. Gives it to Sloan again. Tries to cut back. Instead turns the corner. High stepping down the sidelines, and another 1st down pickup for Sloan.
Sloan goes about 5'7", 180 pounds. The transfer from Murray State. Watch it. How are you going to tackle him? You didn't lost him for a second, didn't you? And watch this. I said, whoop, right there. You can't mess with me. Striped socks, gray shirt, you name it. He's got it. And you know where he is, but you can't do anything about it.
Sloan has been the workhorse on this drive, as the Rams now in the red zone at the 13-yard line. Came into the game with 634 yards on the year. Give it to him one more time. Bouncing outside and then slides down. Whether he meant to or not, it was probably a wise move. Pops right up, says let's go on to second down now.
You have to be very technique savvy approaching him because he gives you an arm, he gives you a shoulder, he gives you a little hesitation with the high stepping. And if you kind of guess and you guess wrong, he's going to make you look bad.
Second down, 7:10 left to play here in the half. Fayetteville State scored the first 10 points of the game. And Winston-Salem State rallying now. Ramadan incomplete. And now third down. Didn't seem quite sure where he wanted to throw the ball.
It's a high, bright sun. Not going to blame that on that. Cameron Williams, again, just kind of looked like maybe he got lost in the route. At the top of the picture, they were running a nice little corner route to one of the wide receivers, and might have appeared to be open. I think that was Belk, something they may want to look at as this game goes on.
So third down and 10 for Winston-Salem State. Foster now in the backfield with Ramadan. Three wide receivers to the left, one up top. Here's Ramadan. He's going to the left, to the corner of the end zone, and too far for Quincy Jackson, but a penalty flag comes down in the end zone.
Scott, this ball stayed in the air a long time. I'm not so certain it's going to be defensive holding as opposed to pass interference. Looked like the defender grabbed a little bit of the red jersey. And they may deem it uncatchable. It was in the air, but if so, then it was a pass interference call. So I'll be interested. Let's see what this call may be.
Pass interference, defense, number 9. Foul took place in the end zone. By rule, the ball is placed at the 2-yard line. First down.
So Alex Woods, the guilty party.
Watch at the bottom part of the screen. He's got making contact. I've seen less called. I've seen more. But it happens right in front of the officials, so you almost have to make a call on that play. Part of the receiver not be able to make the catch.
Moves the ball down to the 2-yard line. Ramadan has it, hangs it off to Foster. Nowhere to go on the right side. Second and goal now. Fayetteville State off to such a quick start in this game. They scored 10 points just like that, seeming like they might just blow the Rams out. Then a couple turnovers, a couple penalties. And here we are with the chance for Winston-Salem State to tie or take the lead.
It's typical of a Winston-Salem State Fayetteville State game. They found themselves down 2 years ago and able to win on the last second of the ball game, scored late, missed the Ram field goal to win and go to the CIAA 2 seasons ago. Now Winston would like nothing better than to knock Fayetteville State out of a chance to go to the championship.
Pharrell Murchison lined up behind Ramadan. He'll take the handoff, go up the middle, and the touchdown. So Murchison gets his second touchdown of the game. This one from about 1 or 2 yards out.
Watch the offensive line. A nice get off that time by Chambers. Going right in between the A gap. Elliott Baldwin 66, Chambers 70, Najee Wilson 77, leading the line. Give him a hole, and Murchison gets in for his second touchdown of the afternoon.
And what an answer for Winston-Salem State. They use a couple of turnovers to their advantage. And Murchison says, yeah, what more do you want from me? I've got 9 touchdowns on the season now. And the Rams are out in front, 14-10. Winston-Salem State, 14 unanswered points to take the lead here in the second quarter. 14-10 out in front of your Broncos.
Murchison, very impressive. How about this? 6 carries, 11 yards, 2 touchdowns. Good job getting off the football by the Rams. You see 66 there. Baldwin kind of leads the attack, the double top on the nose, along with Chambers. He finds a hole. And a very impressive drive by the Rams of Winston-Salem. Remember what we said? They'd only scored over 30 points one time this entire season. That 31 points was against St. Augustine's a couple of weeks ago in that game over at High Point. They hadn't been shut out. That's the thing that was so stunning about the Shaw game. They hadn't been shut out since the NCAA playoff game, I think, in 13 against Shepherd. Over 100 football games for the Rams. So trying to get some offense today. Winston-Salem's doing it.
Well, they're doing it against the Fayetteville State defense on the ground, too. They only have given up 7 touchdowns on the ground all year, and they've given up 2 here in the first half. And a nice return by Brandon Smith will give the Broncos good field position to see if they can answer to what the Rams have done to them of late. 5:48 left to play. Chilly afternoon here in Winston-Salem. Well, this Tuesday, Seth and Leslie take us to the West Coast for some Cali-inspired street food. Musical sensation Timar joins the duo as they dish up a spicy lime fruit salad with tequila. It's going down on an all-new episode of Butter and Brown this Tuesday at 8 o'clock only on Aspire. Folks, check it out. It is where my partner here learns all of his cooking skills.
Yes, sure do. And I'm still waiting to see my Christmas edition of Butter and Brown's coming on only Aspire.
You like making those rolls and you put some butter on
butter
them.
roll, Mexican dish.
Stay in your lane now.
Yeah, I
I
know. I am. I'm staying in there. It was just a one quick stop thing, that kind of stuff. I'm not going into gourmet food.
False start. Offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Yeah, you come out of the timeout and you back yourself up 5 after the great return. And after the great start to the game for Fayetteville State, they've just been shooting themselves in the foot here.
By my count, that's the 6th penalty for Fayetteville State in this game for over 50 yards. And that's just not the way to close out a season, close out a game.
Give it to Green.
Stevie
Picks
Green.
up a couple.
9 carries, 46 yards, Scott. And I'm telling you, you got to have a steady dose of Stevie Green today, I think, because that can open up some other things. And, you stop him for 2, you stop him for 3, and all of a sudden he breaks one for 25.
Latimer up to the line of scrimmage, barking in the play call. He's got Green to his right, wants to bring a man in motion. Now Latimer to throw, tried to get the screen away, it's picked off! Was batted at the line of scrimmage and then picked off by Winston-Salem State. Christian Leonard, look what I found. And the 3rd turnover of the first half for Fayetteville State. And Leonard with his first interception of the year.
pass rushers who can't get to the quarterback, get your hands up. That's exactly what they do. It's a nice job that time by Jeter. We talked about being a young player that can make plays. You deflect it, and you got guys that are able to make the play. And a solid interception by Christian Leonard, another one of those young players. A Graham Red Devil, only a sophomore, Graham, North Carolina.
Leonard with the interception, and Stevie Green was in on the tackle, and he was slow to get up, and they walked him across the field while the Rams are celebrating. So we'll have to monitor Green, and that could be huge if he's unable to come back the way he wants to. But Rams, can they take advantage of the third turnover? They'll hand it off. Ball's loose and on the ground. Do they give it back to him? Murchison on the carry, and he fumbles and gives it right back to Fayetteville State.
And it looks like Joshua Williams is the one that comes out with the football. The officials are still talking about, I think they're looking at the spot. But this ball bounces out right there, and it springs around.
Yeah.
And yep, that's Williams, who'd been victimized a couple of times, had the penalty a moment ago, kind of find some redemption with that fumble recovery.
Springs stripped it out, and then Williams cleaned it up. And man, how it turns back around for Fayetteville State. So 2 plays, 2 turnovers, and that's a rivalry game, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Green not in the backfield, as Latimer will hand it off. And a good pickup by Jatan. Donchell Jatan, a junior out of Mooresville, North Carolina.
Fayetteville State's a team that's always been optimistic and trying to make plays.
Now Jatan stumbling on that handoff, but still able to make some positive yardage. 3rd down and short coming up. I don't think he had enough to get to the first down marker. Or did he? Yes, he did. They'll give it to him on the spot, so 1st down for the Broncos.
Wide receivers are locked up in man coverage. Winston-Salem defensive backs are good, so you try to keep running the football.
Jatan trying to break around the corner, and could be a face mask, and it was. 1st down on the run, but we'll tack on some more.
More flags out there right now than the flags waving at the parade last week. They were thrown from every direction and every angle.
So Jatan on the carry. And this should be a face mask against Winston-Salem State.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 29, 15-yard penalty enforced from the end of the run. 1st down.
Homlin Taylor with the face mask. And that should put the ball down close to the 40-yard line. We'll put it at about the 39, or 41, I should say. And the Broncos off the penalty in great shape now in the Winston-Salem State territory. 3:40 left to play in the half. Latimer to Jatan again. Squeaks over the left side. Short pickup. 2nd and long coming up. If you're just joining us, Fayetteville State scored on their first 2 possessions, went up 10-0 at the end of 1. Turned it over a couple times, and Winston-Salem State has made them pay off those turnovers, and they lead it 14-10 now. Jatan out of the game. He'll catch a breather. Stevie Green back in. He'll bounce it towards the right side. Green across the 30 and will run out of bounds. Stops the clock and gets the 1st down.
Wow. He starts to the inside just very casually and then is able to accelerate and bounce to the outside. Watch this. No one ever lays a hand on him until he's almost ready to go out of bounds. And then eventually he's going to turn that up. If your coverage on the backside is not quick enough, Stevie Green's going to break it.
Green's got it again, this time to the left side. Tries to cut back, but the Rams defense is there this time. And nothing doing.
Great job there. Kalen Allen, 35, in on the host of other tacklers. Skinner along with that to stop Green. And that's what you've got to do. You've got to control the line of scrimmage, set the edge, not let him bounce to the outside, let him string a play out where you can get some help.
Loss of a couple on the play, 2:15 left here in the half. Broncos in no hurry as they get back up here to the line of scrimmage from the 30-yard line. Latimer hands it off to Jatan. Squeaks free and across the 25-yard line. 1:50 left to play in the half.
Scott, every time I've watched Jonshell Jatan play, he plays with an attitude. Doesn't get the numbers or maybe the notoriety as a running back that Stevie Green does for obvious reasons maybe, but he always has explosive plays.
Well, slips on the cutback there on the 3rd down and 5. And now you've got a decision here if you're Fayetteville State.
And if I'm Richard Hayes, I think I've got to try to keep this drive going. This is 4-down territory. You know, Andrew is a solid kicker. They've got a guy that's got a strong leg. But I just feel like you got a chance to score. You got a chance to score. You got to get that.
1:05 left. Green back on the field. Crowd getting into it now.
Yard to gain is the 19.
Latimer to throw. Flushed out of the pocket. Flag on the play. Pass incomplete and picked off by Skinner. But let's see what the penalty flag is.
Got a feeling this is going to be on Fayetteville State.
Let's see.
Holding, offense, number 62. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a 1st down.
So wave off the flag and give Skinner his 2nd pick here of the afternoon.
Told you, he led the league a season ago, led the country a season ago. Pressure here, you can see the hold right there by McClendon. Latimer gets outside the pocket, trying to throw it away. Ball's a little high. And now another pass that should have been caught by Gavin. You can see the frustration right now on Richard Hayes and his staff. Like, come on, guys. Come on, guys. We got to get better.
Well, both these interceptions have occurred with the Broncos driving, one in the end zone and then one here.
And I like the idea going forward on 4th down for Fayetteville State. Just not real crazy about the execution, obviously, in a lot of ways. So now what are the Rams going to do? They're going to try to run the clock out, go into the half. Remember, they get the ball to begin the 2nd half.
So the Rams just content to head to the locker room out in front 14-10. The turnovers have flat out just killed Fayetteville State here in the 1st half.
Turnovers and penalties. And Winston-Salem was able to wrestle a game away with just some long, sustained drives. Been very solid in what they've been able to do. Not asked their kicking game to win it for them. A 9-play touchdown drive. Another 9-play touchdown drive, 68 yards of version.
The Rams will let this clock just run out. Fayetteville State jumped out in front in this game 10-0 early. It looked like the Broncos were poised to just steamroll through Winston-Salem State here in the 1st half, but the Rams are saying nothing doing with it here today. We're at the half here in Bowman Gray Stadium. A battle here in the South Division. Fayetteville State trying to get to the championship game. Winston-Salem State wants to play spoilers against their rival. Halftime festivities on the way when you come back.
Thank Thanks for staying with us. CIAA football, Winston-Salem State and Fayetteville State. Every now and then we need a miracle to come into our lives.
Yeah.
And I've got my miracle now, Miracle Stevenson with Food Line. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Good to see you too, Stan.
Let me ask you first and foremost, what do you do? What are your day-to-day duties with Food Line?
As of now, I'm a Food Line to-go specialist, so I'm working in our e-commerce field.
Food Line continue to branch out and
Yes,
do things.
they do.
CIAA and Food Line have had a long partnership. Talk a little bit about what that relationship means to you, the company, the conference, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep, that relationship has been ongoing, and as of this year, it's been 26 years with our relationship. So we take pride in that, and it's a strategic alliance with the CIAA and our women's and men's athletics, also in diversity and inclusion. So we're proud of that.
What do you feel the impact has been with that long relationship? Obviously, some things are going well for both parties.
Absolutely. It's been a great impact for our CIAA alumni students. We've been able to hire them in our towns and cities. Also being able to recruit over 20 CIAA students that have graduated into our RMT program, which is our retail management training program. And I had the pleasure of being a part of that as well. So it's awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, you were also Miss Johnson C. Smith, right?
I was 2016, 2017.
So did you compete in the contest with all the former queens?
I did.
That's something Food Line sponsored.
Yes, absolutely. We are a proud partnership of our Miss CIAA competition. So.
Miss CIAA competition.
Yes,
Make sure I get that.
Yes.
Well, okay, so having gone to a CIAA school, a CIAA Food Line school, how about that? Having done that, participated in the ground roots to get to where you are today, and also being one of the former queens. Personally, what does that relationship mean to you?
It's a great relationship. I'm proud to be a part of Food Line, especially the retail management training program, being a part of that, having to hire 20 CIAA graduates and then working for Food Line now is great. Also, having our food pantries in our CIAA schools have been awesome. So we've been able to put that in Winston-Salem State University here in Winston-Salem, Johnson C. Smith University in Charlotte, and recently Fayetteville State, North Carolina, just opened their pantry, and it's our first non-perishable pantry that we have, that they have the option to get food from.
So in addition to the food pantry, in addition to what you continue to give back financially to the conference, and then having the sorority, the queens, and everything, Food Line has really kind of wrapped themselves around the CIAA.
Yes.
So as a former student here in a conference, is that something that makes you feel good, that you know you've got somebody around you that's supporting you?
Yes, I love it. That's why I love Food Line. I mean, we are truly an ambassador for our CIAA schools, and I'm really glad to be a part of a CIAA school, Johnson C. Smith, and be able to work for Food Line and be an advocate for how great Food Line has been within the competition.
We'll see you next week at the football championship.
Yep, sounds
and then
good.
we see you during the basketball season, and of course we see you all the time doing CIAA tournament.
Yes, I will be there all week.
That's good, and we'll get a chance to crown those queens too,
That's
right?
That's right.
Miracle, always good to see you. I can't thank you enough for all you do, and everyone at Food Line for their continued support of the CIAA and TV and the whole 9 yards. You guys, you can't say CIAA without saying Food Line in my mind. In my mind,
That's right. Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much, Miracle Stevenson. With where?
Food Line.
With Food Line.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Stay with us for more second half action right around the corner.
Visit uncfsu.edu/admissions to arrange a campus tour. We can't wait to meet you.
Halftime, Winston-Salem State and Fayetteville State, and one of the famous people on campus at Winston-Salem State is LaToya Hilliard-Gray, who happens to be the senior women's administrator and the head softball coach for the Rams. And let's talk about softball first. You guys have had some great success the last couple of years. Share with me not only your successes, but the experiences being the head coach.
Oh, well, we had a lot of successes. I think last year was one of the best times for my career here at Winston-Salem State University. We finished 7th in the Atlantic region, which is unheard of at Winston-Salem State University or at the CIAA. So being able to win the championship, going as the 7th seed, won in the first round of NCAA playoffs, it was just a memorable year for us.
It gets better and better with softball. As with any sport, the more you win, the more you're able to attract student athletes, get more financing. Things happen in bundles, sort of, don't they?
Yeah, it happens in bundles. I think that when we win, that alone attracts more student athletes to the institution. That allows me to get better recruits, and it just feels good to win. So being able to sell that we can win at the level that we're at, Division II, make it yours. I think students are really coming in and making Winston-Salem State theirs.
How are you able to split your time and duties as being the SWA at Winston-Salem as well as being the head softball coach?
Well, I try to make sure I'm not cheating anyone. I think that the student-athlete experience is part of it. So just making sure that I'm not just focused on the sport, that I'm focused on the development part, that we're really taking time to make sure they're doing well mentally, that they're preparing for life after Winston-Salem State. So I think all that plays a role, not just winning championships on the field, but winning championships in the classroom and in the community.
Big weekend last week at Winston-Salem State with homecoming, and you guys had a conference. Share with me the conference and then talk about the experience of Winston-Salem homecoming.
Well, homecoming is always great. It always brings back alum, more donations. It's always will help to win. Unfortunately, we didn't win, but I think the alumni really came back and they enjoyed the time. They saw the growth of the campus. They saw the student athletes, and just the ambiance that they brought back was part of the experience for the student athletes and the alumni.
In that conference, being with professional development, you get a chance to experience past, present, and future relationships of Winston-Salem State.
Absolutely. So when we talk about professional development, we actually just held a symposium here on campus. We hosted Fayetteville State University and Shaw University, and I believe it was one of the best we've actually attended. I'm not saying we were the best, but I think it's one of the best. The student athletes got opportunity to go through a personality testing. They got to engage with peers from other institutions, and you saw the love. I told them while they were here that even though we play for different teams, we're one team. We all play for the CIAA.
So that was all just a CIAA closure.
Just CIAA institutions and their student athletes.
Went well.
Went very well.
Things usually do go well when you come to Winston-Salem, don't they?
Yes.
Before I let you go, the success of Winston-Salem State, you've had it on the football field. Obviously, you have it in softball. Baseball had a lot of success. Everything seems to have been, blossoming here. But, when people think of Winston-Salem, I think a lot of people think of the CIAA basketball tournament and the great success led by, legendary Big House Gaines, and we can go through all those names. CIAA 75, it's around the corner, but not right on us. We're just starting basketball. What are your thoughts about the CIAA tournament, CIAA 75, and how it's made Winston-Salem and the CIAA grow together?
I think I said it earlier that the CIAA has been pivotal in the movement of institutions within the CIAA. When we look at Earl to Pearl Monroe, when we look at Big House Games and the opportunities that they have afforded to them, winning championships in the CIAA. But beyond the court, the professional development point of it, I think one of the championship experiences that the CIAA offers is untouched. To be at an HBCU and know that we're going to get the same experience that they're pretty much getting at the NCAA level is one to be reckoned with, and that's something that we're proud of and be a part of.
It's always good to see you. Let me ask you something before we go. Tell me wrap up, but I got to ask you this. Now, when you guys are practicing and playing softball, this fast pitch, underhand, boom, 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 boom. How fast? What's the fastest pitch you can usually see, and why is it so hard to hit?
Well, I don't think it's hard. It's actually knowing what technique to implement. I think the fastest we had here, and I'm going to give a shout out Brittany Lane and Mercedes Hargett with some great pitches here, along with Amber Shore, but about 63 miles per hour. And it's not really the speed, it's the movement of the pitch that usually get people. So when you got a screwball coming in that's breaking inside on you, it's pretty tough to hit.
Like that?
Yep, right inside.
Is that them?
Catch you at the last
I'm coming to batting practice one day this spring. Is that all right?
We'll check you. We can put a wig on you. I would love you to be a pitcher or a catcher.
Latoya Hilliard-Gray, SWA at Winston-Salem State. Wig, too. SWA and the softball coach at Winston-Salem State. Thank you very much. Stay with us for a whole lot more. I don't know about the wig thing, but, we'll see. We'll see. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Tradition drive to succeed in school and in sports will provide the opportunity.
Welcome back to Bowman Gray Stadium. We are at the half. Winston-Salem State out in front of Fayetteville State, 14-10. While we have a moment, let's take you down on the field with a chance to get a good listen at Winston-Salem State's band, the Red Sea of Sound.
I see you, powerhouse of the red and white. Shout out to the band of girls over there in the corner. I see you.
That's the Red Sea of sound, and they have reason to be bouncing here this afternoon. Winston-Salem State out in front, 14-10. More on the way here. We're at the half in Bowman Gray Stadium. CIAA football is brought to you by Food Lion. At Food Lion, we don't just work here, we live here too. And that's why we're committed to keeping prices low every day, because this is our home and that's our Food Lion. Brought to you by McDonald's, Black and Positively Golden. Join in and follow on Instagram at We Are Golden. And this year, this February, join the CIAA at the Premium Spades Tournament Challenge during the 2020 CIAA Basketball Tournament in Charlotte. PremiumSpades.com/CIAA. That's where you want to go to sign up, or you can download the CIAA app to register now. Welcome back inside Bowman Gray Stadium at the break. Fayetteville State led it 10-0 stand, but Winston-Salem State off turnovers. They now lead it 14-10 as we look at our first half highlights.
Really impressed with Winston-Salem bouncing back. But Fayetteville State looked like they had everything going their way. Nice little scramble, and the completion that time by Latimer was really under control. Found his wide receiver and Sharp, and then there's a nice layout by Pearson Board. 7-0, the Broncos, and off the punt, you get the mistake that kind of just changed the game around, the fumble, and then you get Murchison, and we talked about the success story of Murchison, goes in from 2 yards out, and then, just the 1-2 combination of Murchison and this guy, Quarterman Sloan, they both do damage, and then Murchison goes inside again. Nice hole there up the middle. 14-10 is what you have, and right now the dominant team on the scoreboard are the Rams of Winston-Salem, but Fayetteville State's really kind of dominated all the stat when you look at the stat line, Scott.
Yeah, Fayetteville State seems like they can do whatever they want with the football except hold on to it, right? I mean, the 4 turnovers, it's just, if you think about it, down just 14-10, if you're Coach Hayes, maybe you're, okay, if we would quit shooting ourselves in the foot, we can get accomplished what we want to in terms of what our game plan has been.
But you got 4 turnovers and also 6 penalties for 52 yards, and Winston-Salem State only 3 for 26. Winston-Salem State, we told you, they've had problems scoring the ball this year. They've only got 79 yards of total offense. Fayetteville State's got 200. So you look at the stat line, boom, but that's why stats are sometimes for losers, and the loser right now, Fayetteville State, they've got to play better if they expect to play next week in the championship. If not, and I last heard Shaw was winning, we're going to see a Shaw-Bowie State game, a game that Bowie State won on the last second of the ball game. So 30 minutes left to play. Who knows what's going to happen? It should be very interesting.
Yeah, and again, that's what they're playing for. Fayetteville State wants a berth to head on to the championship game in Salem, Virginia next weekend. We know Bowie State will be there representing the North. It's, hey, can Fayetteville State resurface, re-energize themselves here in the locker room, get back to playing the style of football they want, and make it to their 3rd straight game in Salem, Virginia.
If not, it's going to be a long ride down 87 and 421 all the way back to Fayetteville.
Yeah, we'll be there. Hope to see you as well. November 16th in Salem, Virginia. And for Winston-Salem State, they would like nothing better, Mr. Luter, nothing better than to keep their rivals, Fayetteville State, from playing in that game next weekend.
That would they're long rivals. They have a lot of the same coaches and administrators. Anthony Bennett was a long-time athletic director, associate athletic director here at Winston-Salem before taking the job at Fayetteville State. We talked about Richard Hayes, you know, his affiliation at Winston-Salem State. We saw his uncle, the legendary coach, the Hall of Famer Bill Hayes, you know, here today. Wonder who, you know, how his mind's going. He was here for Winston-Salem, put the Winston-Salem pedigree for championships in place. His nephew now has a chance to go to his third consecutive CIAA championship. You know, Kelvin Randall, Barry Tripp played here. You know, a lot of guys, you know, Kelvin Randall was on the staff at one time. I think he attended it. There's a lot of dynamics in Winston-Salem State, Fayetteville State that necessarily don't meet the eye. The most important thing is for 30 more minutes, Winston-Salem's got a chance to put a thorn in the Broncos' side that'll stay with them for a long, long time.
Now, you alluded to the Shaw game, and their last check, they were up 23-21. So Fayetteville State, do you think they talk about that in the locker room, even mention the score, or is just too much going on?
Too much going on, I think. You know, if they were in contention at Winston-Salem, you would definitely be scoreboard watching a little bit. But the ironic thing about it is that Shaw knocked off Winston-Salem last week, 21-0. Shaw was pounded by Fayetteville State a few weeks ago. St. Augustine's is the one that messed this whole thing up by upsetting Fayetteville State 2 weeks ago in a last-second field goal. So here's the bottom line. Fayettille State, if you win, we'll see you next week. If you don't, then Shaw, I got a whole bunch of homework. We got a lot of tape to look at. But I know Shaw's got a very, very potent team and very good, solid offense and defense. So, and Adrian Jones certainly would be welcome to see the CIAA championship game.
Winston-Salem State has it to start off the third. They deferred the coin toss in the first half so they could get it to start things off. And good coverage knocked down there at the 20-yard line is Jonathan Allen. And that's where Winston-Salem State will take over.
So, again, you know, false sense of security if you're Winston-Salem State. 26 plays for only 79 yards. And, again, Sloan with 47 on the ground. Murchison with the 2 touchdowns with only 20 yards. The Broncos, 32 plays, 199 yards. But count them, 1, 2, 3, 4 turnovers, Scott.
Winston-Salem State has moved around their quarterback. Ramadan played some. Murchison even played some. And now Dominic Graves will start here in the third quarter. Fakes the handoff and will roll out. Looks downfield. Got a man. Completes. And a first down. As Winston-Salem State moves it on first down.
Play action using the left-handed quarterback, rolling him to the strong side. Finds Allen, the tight end, on a little drag route. Nice way to get some confidence for your quarterback that has been struggling. Dominic Graves was 0 for 2 going into that pass. So, again, give your quarterback a little confidence, and the Rams have to take a quick timeout.
There's some confusion with the linemen, I think, in terms of who was supposed to be on the field. And you hate to have to call a timeout right after you got a first down, and especially starting the start of the third quarter. But Winston-Salem State didn't want to take the penalty and make sure they have things all lined up the way they want to. And Graves in at quarterback. Sophomore from Gibsonville, North Carolina. Well, you've seen him in hit movies like Jumanji, Skyscraper, and The Fast and Furious. Now you can see him doing good deeds with one tooth at a time. No, it's not Stan Luter.
What?
It's not. It's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, starring in the Black Movie Magic premiere of Tooth Fairy this Friday at 8 p.m., followed by Tooth Fairy 2 at 10 p.m., only on Aspire. Jumanji, Skyscraper, and The Fast and Furious.
I didn't see any of them movies. I didn't see one of those movies.
Haven't you been the stunt double for The Rock on occasion?
No. See, there you go. There you go. Let you go to Kansas and fly you back, you know, on the jetliner, and then you want to start talking junk. No, I didn't even see Jamal. I didn't see any movies.
Quarterman Sloan on the carry. He's just got Scott style everywhere. Mouthpiece, hair, you name it. Doesn't wear socks usually when he plays.
Runs out of them too fast.
We were here earlier this year. He was warming up, running the field without shoes on. Hey, you run like that, do whatever you want, right? Second down now for the Rams. Fake it to Sloan. Graves dancing in the pocket, looking, and wisely will just throw this one away.
They're going to look at this, Scott, because he was outside the tackle box. The ball crossed the line of scrimmage, but there was no receiver in sight. Take a look at this. Remember the rule. Outside the tackle box, cross the line of scrimmage. But you see nothing red there except a whole bunch of people on the bench.
Well, they'll play on. No flag on the play. So now from the 40, Graves called keeper and has got enough to move the chains and a first down. Second effort by the quarterback, Dominique Graves.
Dominique Graves, exactly. Came with a little run blitz that time. And Graves recognizes and able to squirt and squirm right there. And that lean forward is enough to get the first down in the arms of Evans.
Jawad Evans brought him down. And an injured Fayetteville State player on the field as we stop play for that. Slow to get up is Krishawn Springs, a junior from right here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
I think we counted in a previous game maybe like 20 players on the Fayetteville State roster that are from either Winston-Salem or Greensboro. And then you take about another 90-mile radius and you may increase that to about 35 players. And a lot of guys, Richard Hayes is really good. He had ties to Dudley High School in the Greensboro area before he became his college career. And so still living in that area, a lot of ties, and there's so many great high schools. Greensboro, Winston-Salem, Burlington, Graham, Thomasville, Reedsville, and that, you know. We'll load them up and let's play.
Yeah. So 1st and 10 for Winston-Salem State.
Got back.
Murchison will take the carry this time. Tries to bounce off of Taylor, but he cannot bounce off Jawad Evans. Evans says, not on my side. Loss on the play, but there is a flag on the field.
And I hate to be like this, but I think that's going to be on De La Rosa. Because as the offensive player was moving, I saw him kind of grab him. Happens right in front of the linesman, so we'll see. Let me wait on this, but flag came out really quick after the play.
I'm going to huddle up and discuss it. Another good crew here for our CIAA game of the week. Now let's see what this call is.
There are multiple fouls on the play.
Okay.
Personal foul, offense number 9. Personal foul, defense number 40. Those penalties all set. First down.
All right.
Well,
if you grab me, I'm going to grab you back.
And after it all said and done, we'll just play football, right?
He said 40. I think he meant to say for Fayetteville State number 5. But nevertheless, offsetting penalties, second down.
Opening possession here in the 3rd. Graves will line up with Murchison behind him. Play clock winding down now at 5. Graves has got it. Quick hitter out in the flat to Chandler Belt. That went right through him and incomplete.
Didn't see it.
Yep.
Lost it in the sun. Lazy, hazy football fall day. Shadows are coming over part of the field. Nice throw. And he just lost. Look at that long shadow.
Yeah. You can see Belk just kind of put his hands up, just like you said, Stan. Like, couldn't find the football.
And Graves has got to shake that off. Okay. Pass was on the money. Didn't get it. Okay, next play.
And 3rd down and 10. Murchison's got it, but he will not get the first down. Wrapped up in the backfield by Keontae Gainey, the sophomore from Fayetteville. Wraps him up here in Winston-Salem, and so The defense has done their job to start off the second half for the Broncos as they force the punt now for Winston-Salem.
Right now, if you're a Fayetteville State fan, you got to be happy about that defense, getting Winston-Salem State off the field and hopefully getting some decent field position to be able to get something going. It's the defense that can be nasty and really nasty at times. That's a good stand for them.
Graves, who's also the punter, a little end over end, bounces at the 20 and then creeps inside and about the 18, 19-yard line, and that is where Fayetteville State will take over. 11:26 to go in the third. We'll see what the Broncos have drawn up as they come out of the locker room. Their ball when we come back. Out to about the 35-yard line. Tyus Sharp hangs on to it.
Quick, nice, firm tackle that time by Omar Baker.
Well, it brings up a big third down for Fayetteville State. You want to try to get some momentum here out of the locker room. Going to have to convert here.
Two of 4 in third down conversions in the first half for the Broncos.
Latimer will hand it off to Glaspie, turns by the edge, and that speed is the difference across midfield and a first down for Fayetteville State.
Johnny Glaspie comes from a powerhouse football program down in Teaching, North Carolina, Wallace Rose Hill High School. They know how to play, they know how to run. And one way to accelerate
down one more time up the middle, modeled line of C jerseys there to greet him.
Not of sound.
Not
Red
that
says
time.
sound was on ESPN not too long ago. On First Take. They've had a nice run the last couple of years. Battle of the Bands down in Atlanta many times. A couple of major parades and events. So they play. They give you a show. They give you a lot at Winston-Salem. Football, bands, everybody else.
Second down for the Broncos. Green back in the game and saddled and brought down from behind. It was Karan Jeter who wrapped him up.
Karan Jeter's having a very nice ball game. He's had a lot of effect on things, putting pressure on quarterbacks, chasing down a guy that's very tough to get on the backside. Part of the fumble a few moments ago on one of the other plays, fumble recovery. So, Jeter's having a solid ball game, and you're going to have to against this Fayetteville team, faced with yet another third down. Wide receivers have been really quiet as far as stretching the field. Spivey, the wide receiver to the closest side to us, 84.
Sharp in motion. Third down and 8. Latimer sensing pressure and goes down. Jackson into the backfield to wrap him up, his second sack of the year.
They put pressure on you. They put pressure on you a lot of ways. You've got great defensive backs that can make plays. Came into this ball game with 20 sacks. The Rams of Winston-Salem. That's a big one by Trevin Jackson. His second, and it couldn't have come at a better and bigger time.
The Rams defense gets the hold and the punting unit on now for Fayetteville State. Jonathan Allen standing back at his 10, but the snap goes high over the head of Fayetteville State's punter, and disaster for the Broncos. Again, they just keep shooting themselves in the foot. Jacob Young had to run it down, but great field position coming up for Winston-Salem State. The Rams seizing momentum here in the third. Let's take a look again at what happens here on the high snap. And
what did happen?
Jacob
I forgot
Young
just that quick. Bad snap over the punter's head. Young does a great job of trying to get the ball and recover it. Young is a 6'1" athlete, and he showed every bit of that. And again, the wheels have just come completely off at the worst time for Richard Hayes and Fayetteville State. Keep in mind, a Fayetteville State loss, a Shaw win is Shaw and Bowie State next Saturday at 3 o'clock, about now, for the football championship. Shaw has been in the championship since about 2010, I believe it was.
Well, the Broncos have got to find a way to turn it around. The defense needs a stop here. Ramadan in the lineup, rolls out, complete. First down for Winston-Salem State.
Pass is complete.
That's Joshua Allen on the reception.
And you remember they used Allen on the first play of the second half on a little short drag again by the tight end. And mixing up the quarterbacks, Dominique Graves, maybe a little better athlete. Ramadan steady, won't make the mistake, the senior.
First and goal for Winston-Salem State. Ramadan hands it off to Quaterman Sloan, starts left, comes back right, just can't get away from the Fayetteville State defenders and shoved out of bounds. Good job by Krishan Springs to just ease up. He wanted to give him another pop, but recognized he was out of bounds and held up.
Very smart. Springs went out in the previous drive, able to get back in. Got to keep him. Don't let him set the edge. Don't let the running back get to the outside. Do a good job of stringing him out, making a little contact. Just let him know. Give him a little love tap just to let you know I'm still around.
2nd and 9 for the Rams to get in the end zone. Ramadan remains in the game. Gives it to Sloan, this time to the left side, and the same result. De La Rosa was not fooled.
And a great job by Elvin De La Rosa, Scott, to fight off a blocker and get inside, keep that outside leverage around, and then not let, we've seen what Sloan can do to the bounce the outside, not and make a solid tackle and get him to the ground. Some really solid, fundamentally sound defensive play right now by not only Fayetteville State, but certainly Winston-Salem, as they've been able to corral this offense so far in this game.
Yeah, they're going backwards here on this drive.
So you got to look for a tight end. And remember that Sloan, I don't think he's in the game right now, but he's been one of the leading receivers for Winston-Salem.
Foster is in the game. Looks like Ramadan's going to keep it. And again, brought down from behind. This Broncos defense up to the task after that disaster on the punt, and they hold their ground to do their job.
Jawad Evans, Gainey 97, Evans 91 in on the tackle that time. Again, we talk so much about the defensive backs for Winston-Salem State, but the Fayetteville State DBs are very solid too. Nowhere to throw. Ramadan thought he could get the 9 yards for the touchdown. Gainey and Evans had other ideas.
Call the field goal about 27 yards for Ivan Caro. Got a long of 29 on the year. Ball is away, and Caro puts it through the uprights. So Winston-Salem State takes advantage of the errant snap on the punt. They convert the field goal, and the Rams lead it 17-10.
Tradition. Come live the legacy.
Winston-Salem State out in front 17-10, but I think if you're Fayetteville State defensively anyway, you take that as a win.
Oh, no
right?
question about it. No question about it. Could be a lot of separation in this ball game. Had Winston-Salem able to get a touchdown, hold them to a field goal. Is just a one-touchdown game. Fayetteville State like to think they can get that. They've got some very talented special teams performers, and this would be a great time if you're wearing the blue and white to break something open.
28-yard field goal by Caro.
Most of these kicks today have been of the pooch variety and trying to come down in coverage. So Fayetteville State's been getting good field position, relatively speaking.
Let's see what they do here. Another short one, end over end, fielded by the up man and spinning forward is Darnell Walker. Sometimes when things just steamroll in a game, when you have, whether it's turnovers, you have the high snap, it just multiplies, and you need something positive, some kind of big play to just break it, because guys are just in that mode where don't let something bad happen again versus let's make something good happen.
It's like the old basketball thing we talk a lot about, play to win, not to keep from losing. And right now, Fayetteville State has done everything possible, and you can see it on the scoreboard, to help themselves lose this game. They've got to snap out of the funk.
Latimer will come out with Green behind him and movement up front. And as usual, both sides pointing the other direction.
False start. Offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's Alexander, the redshirt sophomore. So again, right? You come out and you're just shooting yourself in both feet now.
You just can't do that. Down a touchdown, last game of the season, trying to play for a championship. You can't let everything else bother you. You've got to, execute. And something else to think about. Fayetteville State's only 7 of 11 passing and 3 interceptions for only 88 yards. And this is a team that has been known to throw the football and throw it very effectively. Today, their passing game, which can set up the run game, has not been there.
Yeah, they're close to 200 yards a game on average through the air. Latimer, see if he can get something going on this drive. Wants to go downfield, and a great throw by Latimer in between the defenders and Tyus Sharp. And that may be the big play the Broncos need.
They've had 4 games of over 150 yards passing. That is a big catch. You've got to fight the defender and also the son. But 1 foot is all they need in college football. Sharp gets that in. Big play for Fayetteville State.
Fayetteville State down to the 36-yard line of the Rams now. It was Latimer hooking up with Sharp. Now it goes to Green, bounces it over the left side, turns it upfield, another first down for the Broncos.
That outside stretch play has been so effective for Fayetteville State so many years. But let's go back to the catch. Watch this. Got the foot down, has possession official right there in position to be there to make the call. Got it down, tap, tap, catch, contact, play through the ground. He does that. And did a nice play to follow that up by Stevie Green.
From the 26-yard line now, 2:30 left to go here in the third. The Broncos threatening again.
4 wide receivers are man across it, but you got a deep safety in the back. You run the ball.
You give it to Green, squeaks free on the left side. Green, another first down. Well, you said Stevie Green needed to touch the football, and he's doing it on this drive.
Nice formation there. They went 3 wide receivers right, 1 to the outside. So you stretch the defense, and you let this powerful offensive line of Brooks and Alexander and Galloway and Smith lead the way for Stevie Green.
From the 10-yard line, they go hurry up, give it to Green one more time. 2nd and goal coming up. You see the Broncos want to go quick now, coming up to the line of scrimmage.
State, the only people that touch this football the rest of this ball game are the center, the quarterback, and Stevie Green, and then the official if he gets in the end zone.
Latimer will take a peek back at his coaching staff now, organizes everyone.
Same formation we saw a moment ago, Scott.
Green to the left side. Touchdown, Fayetteville State. Stevie Green finds the end zone for the 14th time this season.
There's your 3 wide to the side. Good job blocking at the point of attack. Again, Keon Smith, McClendon on that left side. And you just need a little daylight, and Stevie Green can do the rest.
Green puts 6 on the board, and now Jacob Young to tie it up. PAT is good, and the Broncos say, here we come. Don't cut us out just yet. Stevie Green, the workhorse on that drive, set up by the great pass to Sharp, but Green does the rest.
This sequence right now can tell you so much about this effective drive. Good job by Maurice Flowers. You got to stretch the defense. You throw over the top. Sharp, a great effort to make the catch and keep a foot in bounds. Good concentration. Wide receivers to one side, run away from that, and then the ball to Stevie Green. And in case you didn't know what happened, let me give it to you one time. Good block right there. You're doing what you got to do, and if that happens, that was O'Neal, 58 on the double team. Stevie Green finds the promised land. Broncos back in this ball game.
Yeah, they're finding something over that left side of the line, too. And Stevie Green, you need a guy to make a play. Go to your senior right. And Green wants to play for another championship, and he's helped tie things up now at 17 apiece.
He's had some big runs throughout his career. And even in the bad game last year where Fayetteville State got off to a terrible start, fumbling the kickoff, and Amir Hall just did damage early, it was Stevie Green that still kept him in the ball game with some big runs. Does he have the magic one more time?
More hard hits on the kickoff returns. And that time, Gabriel Lennon certainly took a shot.
Brandon Miller. Not laughing, brother. I feel your pain right there. Man.
The Rams will take over at their own 32 with 1:41 left to go here in the third.
Short passes set up the run game for Winston-Salem State. Power backfield right now. Do you run it?
Ramadan will hand it off to Murchison. He'll bowl his way across the 35. Nice pickup on first down for Pharrell Murchison.
Run defense for Fayetteville State only allowed, on average, 127 yards per ball game. The Winston-Salem State rushing game attack was only 155 yards, sixth best in the CIAA. Advantage on numbers goes to Fayetteville State. You've got to get Winston-Salem in these third down or second and third long situations.
2nd and 5 here. Murchison straight up the middle, and third down coming up.
And you can almost expect anytime you see Murchison in the ball game in the one-back set that he's going to go between the tackles or look to bounce out. You kind of a little leery when you see, the other guy in there, Sloan, quarterman Sloan, because of the fact he has the ability to sneak out of the backfield and is a much better receiver. So it'll be interesting to see what they're going to dial up. Lawrence Kershaw and crew. Foster hasn't carried the ball a lot. Number 33 is coming in the ball game, maybe as an extra back, as an extra blocker, I should say.
Now it's on a 3rd down and 6, and the play clock starting to wind down, but there's a
substitution.
Substitution infraction on the field.
Third down.
So instead of 3rd and 6, you got 3rd and 11, and it's what you were talking about, right?
It drives you nuts, and you bring in an extra back, and then someone doesn't come in. You don't like the package you've got. And again, even this time of year, communication is so very important. So now facing an obvious passing situation, I think if I'm Winston-Salem, I kind of wait for this clock to wind down, and let's start this all over. Talk about it at the beginning of the fourth quarter. It looks like they're going to try to get a playoff.
Ramadan will take the snap, airs it out up the right sideline deep, and deflected away at the last minute by Alex Woods. So Woods makes the play, and the Fayetteville State defense holds. We've played 3 quarters here in Bowman Gray Stadium, and we are all knotted up at 17 apiece. End of the third. Come on back for the fourth. CIAA football is being brought to you by Coca-Cola. Grab an ice-cold Coca-Cola and taste the feeling. By Food Lion. Food Lion, this is our home. That's our Food Lion. Brought to you by McDonald's. Black and positively golden. Join in and follow on Instagram at We Are Golden. And this February, join the CIAA at the Premium Spades Tournament Challenge during the upcoming CIAA basketball tournament in Charlotte, North Carolina. Please sign up at premiumspades.com/CIAA or download the CIAA app to register now.
It's the last quarter, and in some cases, the last game you may ever play. Coaches are intense. Players have to be intense. Fourth quarter, last game. Fayetteville, you win, you play again. Winston-Salem, you'd love to spoil it. Leaving it all on the field. Fourth quarter, last chance. Rams, Broncos, playing for a chance to play next week.
So the Rams forced to punt. And standing back waiting is Tyus Sharp at his own 40. Should be good field position, end over end punt. Sharp will field it inside his 35 and picks up a couple, but still first and 10 for the Broncos. And they'll start off in pretty good shape here. So they get the touchdown. The defense gets the stop. And now how quickly it turns over, and the momentum may be in favor of the Broncos here. Richard Latimer will come out on the field with Stevie Green, and the game tied at 17 apiece as we come into the fourth quarter. It's Green over the right side, but he's wrapped up and brought down, and the ball is loose and on the ground. And it looks like Winston-Salem State has recovered, and they have. Theron Ingram ends up with the football. Let's see if the play was ruled down, though. Winston-Salem State thinks they have it, but they may say the ball came out late, so no fumble ruled, and a big break here for Fayetteville State.
Let's take a look right now. There's Green. Wrap around. Is a knee down? Yeah. Oh, wow. Not sure on the swing around, does the ball come back out or not?
Well,
you never know now.
Fayetteville State's going to get up to the line of scrimmage as quickly as they can. Here on second down, hand it to Green. Near side, cuts it back. Still on his feet and brought down just shy of the first down marker. So third and short now for Fayetteville State.
It's got to be, if I'm coaching this game right now, it's just two down territory.
Donchell Dachan in the game. Dachan has it, and he's got a first down and more, and in to Winston-Salem State territory. Chains are moving forward, and Stan, it's been this ground game here in the latter parts of the third quarter, and now that's been moving the ball forward for the Broncos, but nowhere to go on that sequence. So the Rams defense coming up with the stop. And now second down and long. Second and long for Fayetteville State. They're all tied up at 17 apiece early here in the fourth. Latimer will bring a man in motion. Hands it off to Green, bounces it off the right side, and again, Winston-Salem State is there. They come away with the football, but they'll say the play was ruled down. Crowd getting antsy. They don't like it. With third down coming up. So third down and long for Fayetteville State, and a key stop and opportunity coming for Winston-Salem State. Bring a man in motion. Latimer's got it, low snap. Latimer's got room in front of him. He's going to air it down the sidelines. Incomplete, but the flags come out. Looks like pass interference is coming. Pass intended for Tyus Sharp. And interference called here.
Pass interference. Defense, number 3. 15-yard penalty enforced from the previous spot. First down.
See the pass interference.
Yeah, he grabs his, puts his hand on his waist.
So that'll move the ball down to the 29-yard line of Winston-Salem State. Jatan in the backfield with Latimer. Give it to Jatan. Stumbles forward. Still on his feet. Moving the pile. And a first down for the Broncos.
Number 3, Daniel Walker on the carry. He's coming up to move the chains. First and 10 for the Broncos.
Jatan again up the middle. And the offensive line for Fayetteville State beginning to move the pile and take control of this game here in the fourth.
Substitution, defense, 12 men on the field, 5-yard penalty.
And the penalty against the Rams, and now an injured Winston-Salem State player on the field.
I think that's Trey Jackson.
So we'll take a timeout with Fayetteville State driving here in the fourth, all knotted up at 17 apiece.
Call 336-767-9595 to reserve your room. Double play by Hilton.
17-17 our score. Fayetteville State driving here deep into Winston-Salem State territory, and the Broncos trying to get the lead back, and it has been a steady dose of the ground game for Fayetteville State. That's been their bread and butter. Pass interference play and one deep toss on the previous series, but other than that, it has been the ground game of the Broncos here in the second half.
When Fayetteville State's outrushed their opponents, they're 6-1. They've had success on the ground primarily because of what we've seen all day long. Stevie Green, but also what Jetton has done, and even Glaspie. They've mixed up enough passes, but they've got to be able to put together this consistent drive. It was run-oriented. They were aided by a pass interference. It was an obvious one. He did grab him by the waist. But now if you're Winston-Salem, you got to bow your neck, play your best defense you've ever played this season to keep them out of the end zone. And for Fayetteville State, what are your best short yardage plays?
1st and 10 here for the Broncos. Jatan up the middle, moving forward. Did the pile get him there? They did. Broncos take the lead. Walker snuck in there. 3 and 6, doesn't matter. He moved the pounds. Big 230-pound junior out of Charlotte, Darnell Walker, with his 6th touchdown of the season. I believe that's Walker's first carry of the game, too, and it's a meaningful one as the Broncos have responded here in the fourth. PAT is good, and Fayetteville State has taken the lead.
Walker is one of those guys that they use him a lot of ways. A power guy, a junior from Mallard Creek High School in Charlotte. Moves the pile, keeps the legs churning. The offensive line, they aided him every way they possibly can. But this is what you want. I'm running my way to Salem. Pound, pound, pound. Get in the end zone. Fayetteville State back in the lead.
May have to give part of that touchdown to Keon Smith, the offensive lineman, 295 pounds, just helping to push him forward as well. And a big-time run by Darnell Walker as the Broncos go out in front now 24-17 as they score on their last two possessions.
Scott, we challenge up here anyway, Fayetteville State. If you wanted to win it, you're going to have to go get it down 7 points. They responded with the Green touchdown, and a very, very impressive drive gets you in the end zone one more time. And now Winston-Salem will use all the weapons they have. So you're going to get a steady diet of Sloan and Murkison. The wide receivers have been kind of quiet today, the passing game. But somebody now has got to try to make a big play if you're a Ram. Ball falls off the tee. What else? What else do you want today?
This game has had such swings to it.
Wow.
Winston-Salem State goes up 17-10 towards the end of the third, and you figure they're about to maybe steal this one here at home. Stevie Green responds, and then the touchdown by Walker.
Green, 22 carries for $113.
He's gone over 1,000 for the season. Deep kick will back up Sloan. He'll try to bounce it outside and brought down about the 26-27 yard line, and another penalty flag on the play. Flag on the play. Officials have been busy here today.
If accepted, this will be the 14th penalty, I think. 7 for
during the return.
Fayetteville.
Holding. Return team number 38. 10-yard penalty is forced from the end of the run. First down.
7 for Winston-Salem.
Well, I hope to see you next weekend in Salem, Virginia, Salem Stadium. CIAA Football Championship. November 16th, we'll be there. If you can't make it there with us, hope you'll tune in to Aspire.
Tailgate stuff going on before the game, after the game, championship presentation. A lot of stuff goes on there. What else they doing championship day? Oh, volleyball championships are going on.
Go.
Yeah.
Dominic Graves back on the lineup, underthrown, and now a flag comes in. Joshua Williams was tangled up with Chandler Belk.
Well, Belk and Williams were hand fighting the entire route. They're going to wave this off. I think they're going to wave this off.
There is no foul for pass interference. Second down.
Yeah, I don't think there was. I don't think there was interference. I think both of them were kind of hand fighting and pushing. The ball is underthrown. Good defensive coverage. Take a look. See, boom. There's a little push. There's another push. Ball's underthrown. Should have been probably picked off.
It almost looked like on the inside, Belk was the one pulling down Williams with that inside arm.
Good bit of officiating by this crew. Big ball game, understanding what has to be done and calling the game. Letting them play, but calling the game fairly.
2nd and 10. Sloan has it. And bottled up just beyond the line of scrimmage, and now a 3rd and long for Winston-Salem State.
And Scott, with that long pass, and I like the idea of trying to stretch the defense, and you're not able to get anything on 2nd down. Now you're faced with a 3rd down and about 8 or 9. Winston-Salem only 3 of 9 in third down conversions this afternoon. So Fayetteville State's thinking run, thinking play fake based on personnel. I'm trying to see if I see Quarterman Sloan, number 20, always dangerous out of the backfield. They're going to go with an empty backfield, so maybe some pressure. Nigel Peel, this is a perfectly dialed-up defense for him right now. Does he blitz?
We'll see what Graves does with it here on the other end. Here
Peel
comes
drops.
the pressure. Lost the football. Loose on the ground. And Fayetteville State's defense comes up big.
It's Karan Blunt. It comes out with the football. David Bowser, assistant coach, longtime assistant coach, associate head coach there. He's seen all the championships. He's happy. There's a delayed blitz. Ball's popped out. Big number 99, rumbling, stumbling, doesn't bumble, gets the get. And now you might want to start packing your bags, Bronco fans. You might be riding to Salem.
There was Keyshawn James, the junior, who came in, knocked the football free. And then Mr. Blunt said, thank you. And a turnover deep inside their own territory, and Fayetteville State with a chance to really take control now. Walker in the backfield. Up the middle, and second down coming up. Tried the same play that he scored on the touchdown moments ago, basically, but man, how this game has turned around, and Fayetteville State just has kept battling, staying close, and now a chance to go up.
Richard Hayes, 3 times he's trying to make it to the championship. Maurice Flowers, the offensive coordinator, has been a couple of places, was down in the SIAC, was in the SWAC, had been at Johnson C. Smith for many years, at Fayetteville State's come back, putting more discipline, more pep in the step of the offense, more versatility. Maurice has done a great job.
Second and goal. Walker will bounce it outside. Touchdown, Broncos.
Another touchdown from number 3, Darnell Walker.
Fayetteville State turning it on here in the fourth. Second touchdown of the game. Back-to-back touchdowns for Darnell Walker. And reason to celebrate on the Fayetteville State sidelines now, as they have taken control of this football game. It's the Broncos that force the turnover this time, and it's number 3, Darnell Walker, who walks into the end zone. How quickly one sideline can go to dancing to the other. And it is moving, and a lot of smiles on the Fayetteville State side of things. They've just taken control of this ball game. The ground attack, and then up front defensively, they force the big turnover, and the offense capitalizes.
The defensive coordinator, Chris Holmes on that offensive line have done a great job. Calvin Randall, the running backs coach. Tyrone Jones coaches the wide receivers. A big play by Sharp. We talked about David Bowser. He's been a part of all the championships for Fayetteville State. Stephen Tate covering those cornerbacks. Jones with special teams. Those are the brain trust for the Broncos of Fayetteville State.
And good coverage by Fayetteville State on the kickoff, and you can see how electrified the sidelines are in blue and white now, as the Broncos 8 minutes and 46 seconds away from a date with Bowie State for the CIAA championship.
As dominant as this game has been for most of the second quarter and part of the third for Winston-Salem, I'm looking at the numbers. They only have 101 yards of total offense. Only 101 yards of total offense. Again, we talked about their struggles of not being able to score. We thought it might have been solved for the day. Looks like it's back and raising its ugly head again.
Ramadan in at quarterback, hands it off to Murchison. Good gain out to the 30-yard line.
On the carry.
8:35 left.
Justin Gainey again on another tackle. And if you're Fayetteville State, you've got to be even more aggressive. You got to think that Winston's going to put the ball in the air, which is going to bode well because they put pressure on you. You can't go to sleep on the run game, but the most important thing is to be shrewd tacklers, I think.
Ramadan, one more time to Murchison. Struggling forward, and third down coming up. So you're down 2 scores, clock winding here under 8. When do you have to start thinking about getting a little quicker here if you're Winston-Salem State?
Should have been thinking about it, but definitely after the second touchdown. You know, you upset that. There's a good shot, hey, Coach Hayes. You know, maybe some screen passes, some little misdirection counter action. Because they're pinning their ears back there to Fayetteville State, and the Broncos are now in attack mode. Anthony Bennett, the athletic director, to Coach Hayes' right. There's a guy that's done a tough job and done it well this year in Robert Massey.
He really has as the interim head coach. Ramadan airs it out. Pass is caught, but out of bounds. A little too high and close to the sideline, and Jonathan Allen just couldn't stay in bounds. And now, let's see what Coach Massey will do as Coach Hayes, excited about his group, will bring him on the field. Now, remember, Graves will come on to punt, but he's a quarterback also.
But most importantly, and I failed to mention this on that fumble, he's a left-footed punter, so it kind of comes off your foot just a little bit. Remember that little knuckleball that was fumbled early in the ball game that gave Winston-Salem their first touchdown?
Well, Graves will punt this one away. Yep, end over end, and does not take a good Winston-Salem State bounce. And will be down at about the 42-yard line with 7 minutes and 10 seconds left. And so the Rams putting a lot of pressure on their defense now to get off the field here quickly, get the football back on the offensive side.
2 good friends. They were on the staff together one time at Winston-Salem State. Richard Hayes, has almost got like a leg up because of the lineage from Uncle Bill, who's somewhere roaming around looking for a play to call one more time right now. He's coaching. I saw him a few minutes ago. He's in the box. He's looking for something. He's looking at that offensive line play. I know exactly what he's looking at.
Stevie Green following that offensive line, twists forward, picked up 2-3 yards. And second down now, under 7 minutes left on the clock.
Stevie Green does a great job of reading what's in front of him. You see, he makes contact with his offensive lineman, 71. Watch that. Look at it. He's just watching, using him as a lead block. And that's a great connection with your lineman as a runner. Shavate Alexander, number 78, was doing a nice job. Let me just find Shavate. This may find a little area. Let Stevie pick up 3 or 4 yards. Keep the clock moving right now.
Second down. Latimer brings Green behind him. Now hands it off to Stevie Green, and he's met and then just spiraled and thrown down wrestling style there by Malik Moore, the senior. Look like WWF here.
Watch this. Watch this. Get it. Forward progress to stop. Here, take that with you.
They have been hitting and hitting here today.
I'm going to tell you what. Watch this. Bam! Stevie got up and said, all right, that's the best you got.
Let's do it again. He'll come out, Will Green. Walker is on the floor. Malik Moore, senior from Wilmington, North Carolina, tried to throw him back to the coast, didn't he? But a chance now for Winston-Salem State to get off the field. Walker, hard running.
Walker goes 5'11", about 230, Scott. He says, now try throwing me down like that. Stevie, I'll let that slide. We understand.
So the Rams defense holds, though, and that'll bring the kicking unit on.
Good job there defensively. So now do you ask yourself, if you're Winston-Salem, is this punt block, or do you set up the return? They've got some guys that can make some plays, especially Skinner.
Skinner will go all the way back to his 10-yard line. Jacob Young, sophomore punter, will kick it away, and Fayetteville State using some clock, letting the play clock wind down with the game clock.
Delay a game, offense, number 90, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
So down to 4:42 left. And we'll see if the pressure comes on Jacob Young. Here it comes. Young just does get it away, and it's a high spiraling kick to Skinner. Makes the first man miss almost, and then hits the deck. Good coverage by Fayetteville State.
First and 10 here for your Rams.
Skinner just couldn't get away as Brandon Smith was there to bring him down. So 4:34 left. It's doable, but the Rams have got to get moving against this Fayetteville State defense.
All right. Here you go, Rams. See what you got. Down 2 scores.
Ramadan back in at quarterback. He'll go deep downfield into coverage and picked off. Picked off by Joshua Williams.
An interception. Number 20.
Well, Williams has been involved with a lot of plays today.
Scott, they've thrown at him all afternoon in different ways. Tried to go over the top deep. He had great inside leverage and really just made a better play after getting the football. Went to Jack Britt High School. Fayetteville native. Fayetteville fans, I'm not trying to be a little premature, but you might want to go ahead and start packing your clothes because you're on your way to Salem. Ramadan, time in the pocket, just throws it as far as he can, overthrows Belt, underthrows the other receiver out there, 2-man route, both receivers in the same play. That's Cameron Williams, but a better play by the other Williams.
Second pick of the year for Joshua Williams. Stevie Green takes another hard
Number
hit.
28, Stevie Green on the carry.
If you're Fayetteville State right now, you know, you want to put the ball in guys' hands that are very secure, like a Stevie Green, and you want to stay in bounds. Stay in bounds, let the clock run. If you're Winston-Salem, you make sure tackles, one guy grab him, the other guy try to strip him of the football, and you try to make a play quickly. Fayetteville State will be in no hurry to get a play started. 10 on the play clock now.
Clock winding down, 3:45. And then a whistle.
False start. Offense, number 78. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Alexander, remember, just talked about him a moment ago leading the way. So I guess he was kind of waiting for Stevie Green's hand to be in his back. Couldn't wait. Stevie's out. He takes a pounding. Kid that actually went to a school in the conference. They didn't have any room for him, so before the semester started, he ended up going, couldn't play it. So he goes down to Fayetteville State, doesn't play. Is involved in, intramurals and some workouts. Hayes gets the job. They're having some tryouts, has kids run on campus. And he said, it didn't take but a second. I said, who is that kid? So that's the kid, Stevie Green. And 4 years later, the all-time leading rusher, touchdown maker in Fayetteville State football history is that young man right there. And he's as nice a young man as he is football player. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be real honest with you. Rookie of the year a couple seasons ago. We'll get to see him again next week. I would dare say, if you watch next week's game, you want to make a sure bet, probably bet that he's going to be one of the ones to watch. What do you think he might be one of the ones to watch this week?
I think you can mark him down right now.
$1 million smile. Look at that.
Looks like he's got a little something going on with his finger there, but doesn't look too concerned about it either, though, does it?
They're kids that you have a chance. We're so fortunate to be able to be a part of this game and what the CIAA allows us to do and what Aspire brings into homes. But to watch a young man like Stevie Green evolve from a freshman that no one knew to one of the best running backs in CIAA football history, it's an honor and a pleasure to be a part of the CIAA, and it's an honor and a pleasure to watch a young man like Stevie Green. So to all involved from my side, thank you so very much.
Chatan carrying the load now. He swings over the left side.
Number 6, Donshell Chatan with another
And
carry.
Darnell Walker was the guy who capped off a couple scores in the fourth quarter with a little help from his friends. The junior was churning out yardage and churning out touchdowns. He's our Food Lion MVP of the game with the 2 big scores here in the fourth.
Maurice Flowers looking on, thinking about what we got to do next week. 30-10 they lost last year to Bowie State. Before I forget it, too, let me watch this play.
Chatan on the carry.
Passing out honors. Happy birthday to you coming. It's either the day or tomorrow or the next day. So happy birthday. You've been jet setting all around, Scotty Herb Street. And then my good friend Zealand. Happy birthday, Z. Turning 6 tomorrow. Told her I'd give her love on birthday. Not supposed to do that, but I want to give you some love. I want to give my buddy Zealand some blessings. ZZ, happy birthday, number 6. Went to the zoo and had a party and everything. So y'all celebrate. You've been flying. Zealand's going to the zoo. Happy birthday.
We both say thank you. How about that?
Yeah, it's the day of tomorrow. So if you thought I forgot, I know you've been jet setting, but
up,
yeah, God bless you. Happy birthday. I'm glad you're here.
Happy to be here.
Happy
to be here.
Ain't we all happy to be here?
Always happy to be here. Well, 1:13 to go, 31-17, and Winston-Salem State has some timeouts, but they seem to content to just let this one run out here.
Interesting thing about Winston-Salem, I mean, we said it earlier, but worth repeating, this will be the first time since 2009 that they haven't won at least 5 football games. You think about the 2010 year, you came in with Maynard and won 8, and then they won 13 and won 14 in 2012 and got to the national championship. So this Winston-Salem program has had a lot of success, but this will be the first time since 2009, which was the end of that Division I period that they were in, where they've not won at least 5 games. Remember, they beat Fayetteville last year in the last game of the season to go 5-4 because they missed a ball game due to the weather. So it's been a nice little run, and I got a funny feeling that it'll start again. But today, all this goes to blue and white, and congratulations to Fayetteville State.
Well, Winston-Salem State made them earn it. There's no doubt about that. But in the fourth quarter, it's the Broncos that turned the momentum in their favor. They got the big turnover. They were able to capitalize, and they are headed to play in the championship.
Easy, guys, and this is it. I mean, because you do something crazy now, and you're going to miss next week because you're playing. So easy. Just go on about your business.
That was final play of the game. And Coach Hayes gets a cold shower. And still a lot of tension out on the floor, or the field, I should say. But these teams respect each other. They'll shake hands. And Fayetteville State gets the win.
Well, Coach Hayes recruited some of these guys as the seniors. And before we go, Darius Skinner had 22 interceptions on his career, 2 today, so he's 3 away from the school record, but he'll be the number 2 guy all time and moves into the top 10, I think, in CIAA history as well. So I just want to give him a congratulations and an outstanding career to he and all the seniors at Winston-Salem. They graduate 19.
So Fayetteville State comes from behind, and they get the win here today. Broncos are rolling. They're Southern Division champs and headed to play for a championship next weekend. Fayetteville State over Winston-Salem State, 31-17. We're back to wrap things up here from Winston-Salem after these messages.
Skill and drive to succeed in school and in sports will provide the opportunity.
31-17 our final, and Stevie Green, a big part of it here today, going for 122 yards and 1 touchdown for his Fayetteville State Broncos as they come here to Winston-Salem State to get the win, and Broncos will move on now.
How many carries does Stevie Green have?
Stevie Green, 25 carries. What did you say?
20 to 25? Not saying, just telling you. I mean, and if you want to hear some more wise wisdom from me and Scotty Herbstreit, then you tune in next week if you decide not to come. I would come to Salem, Virginia for the CIAA championship. But if you don't, you can catch all the great action on Aspire as the CIAA and college football celebrate 150 years. CIAA, live the legacy. And the legacy, Scotty P, begins to continue to roll on action plays like what we're going to see in a minute.
Yeah, it was quite a game. It was Fayetteville State that got off to the early lead as we look at our Coca-Cola game summary. They came out in the first quarter and looked like they were going to just simply blow out Winston-Salem State.
They did a nice job moving the pocket, moving the offense. Pearson Board with a nice catch, stretches out and scores. And, you know, you're feeling good, but there's that left-footed little knuckleball that is not played well, totally misplays it. And this gave Winston-Salem State some life. And then you get the first of 2 touchdowns by Murchison, that from 1 yard out. A couple of drives later, goes in between the tackles. That's my man Sloan, a little high-stepping, no socks or whatever, it don't even matter. And then there's Murchison, goes inside. Great blocking by the offensive line of Winston-Salem. And we got ourselves a ball game. But champions find an extra gear. You come back and you make plays, and you're led by Stevie Green. Run there. Look at the blocking. Everybody's holding on to their block, making a good job. Hat on the hat. Stevie Green finds the promised land. That ties the ball game up. And then it's just about the desire and the versatility in the offense of Fayetteville State. Walker, one of his 2 runs, one from 10 yards out, one from 3 yards out. Dominating the ground game. That's what Fayetteville State did in the 4th quarter. There's Walker in the end zone. And when you do like that, you can holler, you can scream, you get the Gatorade. In that case, water is kind of cold, but he'll take it because they're going to the ship. They're going to the ship.
Winston-Salem State led it 17-10 in the 3rd. They would not score again as the defense takes over. A turnover here, and Stevie Green and company take over. Again, the final 31-17, Fayetteville State. And now they'll face a Bowie State team in the north. We won't talk too specifically about that game, but a team in Bowie State which has just been steamrolling this season. But the Broncos remember what happened last year. You get a chance at them again.
All they talked about in the summer, all they talked about, as every team does, is going to the championship. But they talked about it with a vengeance, with a hurt. They did not put their best foot forward last year. Fumbling early in the ball game, and Amir Hall gets a couple of touchdowns, and they never were able to recover. 2 years ago, Trenton Cannon just kind of steamrolled them with some big 70-plus yard touchdowns. Again, that was the first trip for a young football team, so they had the big eyes. They've been to the championship. They've been to Salem. They've been through all the stuff. This should be a good football game. Remember, this Bowie State team, even though they're going to be, I last heard they were up against Elizabeth City, but they were 9-0. But they had some tough tussles. I mean, the Shaw game, they had to block 2 kicks in the final 5 minutes to eventually win that football game. We saw how they played against Virginia State. They were able to wear them down and win the football game. Bowie goes in 10-0. They're the number 13 team ranked in the country and number 3 in the region. You got to feel comfortable that they're going to go to the NCAAs. The other game is a battle, I think, is a, loser leave town game that's going on now is Virginia Union, Virginia State, with that winner probably having a chance to get maybe the 7th bid, or 7th spot in the NCAAs. But that's other stuff. Bowie State gives you good offense and great defense, and Morcell has been one of the best defensive backs in not only the conference but in the country. I think last I saw he had like 7 interceptions, a couple pick sixes. So it's going to be good. They've got a good offense. They've got a good front. So I'm excited about going up to going up to Salem. I got a Bowie too. I like going to Bowie. But going up to Salem and watching Bowie State and Fayetteville State play for the third time in these two schools' history, in the championship game history. Fayetteville State won one. Bowie State won one. Here's the rubber game. You talk about Coach Hayes. There's Bill Hayes, and he's talking to a star right there, Stevie Green.
We talked
Class
a lot.
act, both of them.
They really are, really, really are. We talked a lot, and rightfully so, about Stevie Green and what he and the other running backs did today. But this defensive effort for Fayetteville State as well, whole Winston-Salem State to just 108 yards of total offense here today. This is a defense which, in some ways, has been underrated. They're going to have it up against them trying to shut down Bowie State, but what they did today really shows the type of team they've been all year, I think.
Well, that's how they've been. Like I said, Coach Hayes' expertise is on the defensive side. This is now game number 10. Only 3 teams all year long have rushed for over 150 yards against Fayetteville State. Johnson C. Smith did it in a game that Fayetteville State barely was able to come out alive over there in Charlotte a couple of weeks ago for 250 yards. But they have been very stingy giving up yards on the ground. So it should be very interesting to see how Bowie State decides to try to attack Fayetteville State. Should be. On paper, it should be a very, very good football game. And I'm so happy to not only be able to bring it to you, but to be there myself.
Well, Winston-Salem State will finish up the year at 4-6. Fayetteville State now 8-2 on the year. And what that guy right there has done, Richard Hayes Jr., since taking over at Fayetteville State. I mean, we're talking 3 straight South Division titles.
Yeah.
He's done a great job rebuilding the winning culture for Fayetteville State.
Well, they had it for many years, and with Kenny, and then when Kenny stepped down and the head coaching changes, never really were able to find the grip. And that's about the same time when Winston-Salem State was beginning to ascend. 2010, 2011, 2012, like we're going.
All those great Connell Maynard teams.
Yeah, man. I mean, we told you what it was. 8 wins the first year. What was it? 12 wins the second year. 14 and got for the championship. So Winston-Salem was steamrolling, and then Hayes gets an opportunity, as coaches should, to develop your own program. He used a lot of the things that he was taught by his uncles, things he learned as a coach, things he got out of the Winston-Salem program. You put it all together, and you've got people. And I got to give this, and Dr. Valentine, the new chancellor at Fayetteville State, is a wonderful lady, and she's going to do some great things. But Dr. Anderson kind of brought in, along with Bennett, they bring in Hayes, and they wanted to win. So what do we have to do to turn our program around? And they did that, and they're doing that. And what do you get? You get 3 consecutive trips to the championship. And they're trying to make sure they got tickets and reservations and everything else ready. Looks like the Keyshawn James family. They said, we got to come all the way from Casey, South Carolina to come up here. We want to be ready. What time's the game? 3 o'clock. What color y'all wearing? We don't know. We're either the blue or the white, but we'll be there. You be there too.
Again, our final here in Bowman Gray Stadium. It's Fayetteville State, a winner over Winston-Salem State, 31-17. And Broncos weren't perfect here today.
No.
But you win, and if you win, you can still get your attention of your team. There's a lot that they can clean up, a lot of turnovers here today. But on the same token, I think one of the messages Coach Hayes can have to his group is, you know what, we weren't perfect today, but we found a way to turn it around within the ball game to make plays when we needed to.
What's that old saying? Just because the mule is blind don't mean you can't load the wagon. So you got to keep loading the wagon and keep making plays.
I don't know that. One more time. Let me
just because the mule is blind don't mean you can't load the wagon. He'll take you somewhere. Don't know where you're going. And so what did you do? You just kept playing. You kept chopping wood. You kept playing, making plays. The defense would bend, but it didn't break. And when the opportunity allowed itself, Fayetteville State stepped in the door, and they knocked the door down. We're on our way to the championship.
So Fayetteville State a winner here this afternoon in Winston-Salem. The Rams led it in the third, but the Broncos showed why they have been the class of the South Division all year long. Once again, our final, Fayetteville State a winner over Winston-Salem State, 31-17. This game was packed full of emotion, packed full of big plays, packed full of tension, and it was everything we hoped it would be. And in the end, Fayetteville State able to overcome turnovers. They weren't perfect, but in the end, they would be the ones dancing in the end zone. Broncos are South Division champs. They'll move on to take on Bowie State in a championship next weekend. For everyone here in Winston-Salem, good night and have a good night.